Tribe, I know friends and even frenemies. Once a meet was a fuck, but he plotted enemy. Real ish. I'm talking the full clip and still miss. I was on my own. Straight out the holy notes, but kind of ill, the slanderous speech, but dreaming like he sleeps safe. Codes cracking the skull, but fire up the chest plate. Massive thoughts, I'm a Pleiades and Orion dweller, but Melchizedek initiate like Enoch. I was born his brother. Celestial vibes, get a sneak peek inside my mind. A being if he season in me, that means it's peaking time. You cross the line, but on the low, you know that you can kite. If you do it for your future life, this nigga ain't trying to fight. Because you can kite and sneak around and tiptoe at night, claiming that you're shooting bull, but really creeping on your wife. So get it right, pull your whole cord, that's Nashville. My only reason to breathe in the middle of the streets is Israel.
It's an Israelite life.
Till I'm dead and gone.
It's an Israelite life.
We press on.
It's an Israelite life.
I see y'all on.
My life to live.
Tough. The manuscript, Genesis to Revelation.
Shalom, Mark, we say.
Deuteronomy 28.
Say, y'all.
6. Revelation 13.
Yeah. It's an Israelite life.
Till I'm dead and gone.
It's an Israelite life.
We press on.
It's an Israelite life.
Why stay strong?
It's an Israelite life.
I see y'all on
get it right.
It's an Israelite life.
Till I'm dead and gone.
It's an Israelite life.
We press on.
It's an Israelite life.
Why stay strong?
It's an Israelite life.
Family, shalom, shalom.
Tribe, I know friends and even
Folk tribe, baby.
once a meet was a father, but he plotted enemy. Real ish. I'm talking the full clip and still miss. Yahweh's on my own. Straight out the holy notes, but kind of ill, the slanderous speech, but dreaming like he sleeps safe. Codes cracking the skull, but fire up the chest plate. Massive thoughts, I'm a Pleiades and Orion dweller, but Melchizedek initiate like Enoch. I was born his brother. Celestial vibes, get a sneak peek inside my mind. A being if he season in me, that means it's peaking time. You cross the line, but on the low, you know that you can kite. You do it for the abusing life. Nigga ain't trying to fight. Because you can kite and sneak around and tiptoe at night, claiming that you're shooting bull, but really creeping on your wife. So get it right, pull your whole cord, that's Nashville. My only reason to breathe in the middle of the streets for Israel.
It's an Israelite life.
Till I'm dead and gone.
Shalom, shalom, family. Can y'all hear us good? Type in some nines if y'all can hear us. We're going to get started. Y'all see what's on the board. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Our praise and glory and honor to the Most High. And make sure we come share this across social media.
I see what this called the political assassination of the what? Of the revolutionary Messiah. Yeah. It's time to get it in.
Let me make sure we good. All right, so y'all, shalom, all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High, only creator and possessor of all things. Long live his anointed, beloved Son in the hearts and minds of the faithful elect. Honor, humility, Melchizedek Ministries right back at it. Your brother Malachi Maccabee to my left. I got my beloved brother.
You already know, Yaki in the building.
Yaki in the building. Y'all see the title, Political Assassination of the Revolutionary Messiah. We're going to go over the trial and execution of the Messiah. And one of the sources we're going to read from is the letters of Pontius Pilate. Ooh-wee. Somebody been lying to us the whole time about the character of Messiah. I mean, it's all in the scriptures, actually, if you just slow down and read.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's an agenda out here to, like, water his message down and to make him feel as if, or his message to be, like, soft. This Hebrew movement has nothing to do with Christianity, no way, shape, form, or fashion, just to let y'all know. Do not bring that Christian vibration into this. It's not the same thing. You feel me? His execution, his crucifixion, his assassination, if you want to call it, was highly political. Highly political. He was accused of sedition, rebellion. For y'all that don't know, matter of fact, you can look up sedition look up the definition of sedition real quick before we get this prayer. All right. Yeah, he was accused of sedition and rebellion. You feel me? And you're gonna look up the definition of sedition real quick. And we're gonna get it done, man. We're gonna go over a few scriptures, but we got a lot to read in here. This is Pontius Pilate's letter written during his governorship of Judea to his friend Seneca in Rome, edited by W.P. Crozier. These letters represent the times of Jesus with some of the principal events of his life from a new viewpoint that the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. History has pictured Pilate as in some respects a good governor, anxious to serve his imperial master faithfully, and even in so far as possible to conciliate those who were placed in his care. In these letters, Pilate describes the events of his governorship, his impressions, his policies, his difficulties in dealing with the Jews. It seems, writes Pilate, that all Galilee is agog about Jesus. And everyone knows of someone who has heard of someone else who has been cured of some disease. Pilate argues that Jesus is a popular leader who is politically dangerous. I heard that this whole thing was political, man. Politically dangerous, a troublesome fellow that must be gotten out of the way. And concludes Pilate, if he was not a dangerous rebel yesterday, he would have been tomorrow. In spite of this, Pilate has given us a fine picture of they say Jesus, we know Yahushua. Jesus here written with restraint and feeling, unconsciously reverent and absorbingly interested. Yeah, man. So we're going to go over the rest of the Messiah, and then we're going to get into his actual trial, execution. You feel me? In the letters of Pontius Pilate, man. You feel me? So we in 2019, y'all, and for anybody that believe that the Messiah was not historical, you need to step your study game up quick.
Straight up.
You feel me? All this stuff is coming out in this hour. You understand? Let me share this across social media real quick. We're gonna get this prayer off. And y'all take notes, man. And again, he even testifies he was executed on the eve of Passover, right before unleavened bread. So with the class we did a couple days ago, even in her.
Yeah.
Right. And, we're going to deal with the whole Gentile aspect too. You know what I'm saying? Israelite foreigners and all that. Monday, y'all willing. You know what I'm saying? After we get done with this feast. You know what I'm saying? We're doing baptisms here in the STL Sunday for some out of time guests. But on Monday, me and Nehemiah complete his 4-day fast.
Hallelujah.
All praise, glory, and honor. He's going to be up here. And we're going to address it. Because even in her, Pontius Pilate recognized foreign Israelites, Israelite foreigners. You know what I'm saying? From all over the world that will come to Jerusalem. These are the strangers that dwelled among you. So we'll deal with that, you know what I'm saying? Let's give y'all a quick heads up or a sneak peek into what we got coming next week. But today we're dealing with the assassination of the Messiah, Yahushua Mashiach. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. We're going to get this prayer off. And let's go ahead and feast, man.
Let's get her done.
Big O, you like that banner he broke? Because he liked that banner.
Hey, that's just for the desk.
Yeah.
That's just for the table. We got our personal.
We got one coming to the back. For the back, we can get this green and black out.
They got our personal logo on.
Yeah.
Going down.
Print play. You like that track? We ain't even done with it yet. Wait till you hear the video. Wait till you see the video, should I say? Oh, we Israelite Life, all right? Featuring AOI, MYMG. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get her done. All right, so let me share this real quick. We'll get our prayer off and shout some of y'all out. Let's go ahead and get her done. Let's go ahead and get it. All right, bang. Go ahead and get it done. You got anything you want to say to the people, Yaki?
Man, look, let's get it in. Hey, we've been telling y'all that the Bible deal with economics, morality, politics, education, everything. You know what I'm saying? So look, we finna deal with the political aspect. Yeah, like we've been talking about it. Now it's time to show and prove.
Yeah, exactly. Dealing with the politics, man. When you start getting at them banks and messing with that money. But wait till we read it in here. Pilate, like the Israelites could have argued all day about Yahweh. Y'all wouldn't occurred. The moment he got at the temple and got at the money changers and overthrew the tables and all that, he became a political problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This whole thing was political, man. And it was fueled by hatred for brethren. Because it would have never been able to become political had the brothers just loved one another. And that was the message Messiah was teaching his people. Love your enemy. What enemy? The enemies of your own nation, man.
Yeah.
How we ever gonna have a revolution and we all divided and hateful toward one another? It never worked. You feel me? That's why that spirit of love outweighs that hatred that's being spewed in this last hour. You feel me? And men out here looking silly, might I add. Beyond silly. You feel me? Because those that have an ear to hear, and there's a lot of people, man, I get calls every day for people in the States and out the state apologizing. Apologizing. Real talk, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. We gonna stay humble around here because we commanded to. You know what I'm saying? We're commanded to stay humble. We gonna stay humble. It's all good. You dig? But we wax bold in the spirit too. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We at war around here. And it's a war for your souls. So, you know, let's go ahead and make everything happen real quick. Let me see if sure that with the ark.
Shalom. Y'all climbing on up in this deal. Let's get it. Let's get her done.
All right. I don't know. I'm live. I don't know why people steady trying to text me. Y'all already know what it is. All right. Who all up in the chat, man? Shout some
hey, man, we got Amuna Badia.
Shalom.
We got my brother Solomon McFadden. Shalom.
What's the word?
We got Shema Kaya Maharaka. Shalom, Queen. Iris Stephen. Shalom. Print Blake. My Queen Aniyah. Shalom. Lisa Henry. Shalom. 12 Tribe. Shalom. Joy Team Petty. Shalom.
Team Petty in the house.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Shalom. Brother Mendez, look, everybody up here. Print Blake, what's up, family? Climb on in this deal. Let's eat and feast off the word of God. Sade 19, Zachariah, Malachi. What's up with my family? How y'all doing?
Man, all good, man. All good. And shout out to Iris Stevens for your generous support, my sister.
Hallelujah.
Last night after we got off the live chat.
We got Irish in the building, the Oracle. Shalom.
The Oracle
it's the Oracle right there, boy. Hey, for real.
Hey, look, she ain't never even seen The Matrix. I'm like, you need to go watch The Matrix.
Look, you the Oracle, you ain't seen The Matrix. You gotta watch that Matrix.
Going off.
For real, you the Oracle. Matthew Menard, August Dreams, Mina J, Winston Marks.
I know Poppy Shoe on it. Poppy on her.
Yeah, of course, Poppy Shoe in the deal. Poppy Shoe up in the deal as always. Lawrence Clark. Yasir, look, Eleazar, come on with it. Winston Marks, let's get it. So look, we're gonna start this off with a prayer. He's sharing this on all the social media platforms. Simply J, shalom. Yes, you on time. Out of the mud, Watchman, Marcus Yisrael. Look, we finna get it in. Let's feast off the word of Yah.
That's right. All right, y'all, we about to face Jerusalem. We're gonna go ahead and get this prayer off in Hebrew and in English. And let's go ahead and read about the trial and execution of the revolutionary Messiah. And then we're going to read what happened from the words of Pontius Pilate, the one who condemned him himself. And see how it match up with the scripture, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. So everybody face Jerusalem. Y'all know how we do. In pursuant to 1 Corinthians 11, men need to uncover their heads when praying and prophesying. Women are to cover their heads when praying and prophesying. Face Jerusalem. Daniel, the 6th chapter, 1 through 10. 1 Kings, the 8th chapter, 20 through 44. Also, Psalms, the 138th chapter, toward the temple. Spread forth your hands, 1 Timothy 2 and 8, and also 1 Kings 8 and 4. So we have direction, cover or uncover, and what to do with your hands. The order of prayer, write out the holy scripture, the holy manuscript. And for the haters, you don't hate enough. Keep doing your job. Because the more you talk, the more blessings come.
Yeah.
I love you for it.
Yeah, don't stop.
I love you for it. Keep it coming. You feel me? It ain't necessarily always a bad thing to have enemies, man, to keep you on your toes, actually. You constantly examining yourself, because if you don't, you know your enemy on your tail, he will. So for those that are naysayers, we love you too. Keep it coming. All right? Y'all repeat after me. Abinu. Shabbat Shemayim. Yikade. Shimka. Tabo. Malkuteka. Yeyase. Ratzonka. Kabat Shemayim. Cain. Ba'aret. Etlakem. Kukenu. Tainlanu. Hayo. Uslaklanu. All. Kataenu. Kamo. Shel Soki.
King.
Gam.
Gam.
Anaknu.
Anaknu.
Lakote.
Lakotin.
Lanu.
Lanu.
Wa'al.
Wa'al.
Tabienu.
Tabienu.
Lide.
Lide.
Nisayo.
Nisayo.
Ki.
Ki.
In.
Im.
Kotzenu.
Kotzenu.
Minhara.
Mimhara.
Kilaka.
Kilaka.
Hamamlaka.
Hamamlaka.
Wahagbura.
Wahagbora.
Wahatifaret.
Wahatifaret.
Laome.
Laome.
Olami.
Olami.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah.
All praise and glory now to the Most High. English. Our Father
Our Father
in heaven.
in heaven.
Holy is your name.
Holy is your name.
May your kingdom
May
come.
your kingdom come.
And your will be
And
done
your will be done
on earth
on earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread,
And forgive us our sins
and forgive us our sins
as we also have forgiven those
have forgiven those
who sinned against
who
us.
sinned against us.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from the evil one.
but deliver us from the evil one.
For yours is the
For
kingdom
yours is the kingdom
and the power
and the power
and the glory
and the glory
forever
forever
and ever.
and ever.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah.
That's right. Let's get her done. Let's get her done. Let's get her done. Our praise and glory now to the Most High, the owner, creator, and possessor of all things. Long live his anointed, beloved Son in the hearts and minds of the faithful elect. Once again, honor, humility, MELCHIZEDEK Ministries. Malachi Maccabee and my Aki Yaki, the young gunner, master herbalist in the building.
Hallelujah.
All right, so we're going to get her done, y'all. Again, the political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah. Y'all see the title. I know y'all like, what is y'all talking about? What you mean political? It was political. Yeah, man. Once you stop looking at the Bible through a Christianity or a religious lens, man.
Right.
Yeah, it actually does you a disservice. When you actually slow down and read what's really going on, you can understand why the Messiah was crucified. Because think about it, if you're not no threat, you ain't about to be took up out of here. You understand? Nobody's aiming to take out Ned Flanders, even though he's a cartoon character. Let me say, Mr. Rogers, would you be my neighbor? Because that's the spirit and vibe the churches put out there. Like the Messiah just walked around and loved everybody. You dig? And really wasn't about no type of revolution. And it's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite. Once we read these scriptures and everything and start seeing, like after he started doing major works, or even after he said certain things that offended the Pharisees, which was a spiritual political party in Israel, or the Sadducees, which was a spiritual political party. All these were different factions, you understand? We're going to get some of them definitions later. Also, the Zealots, when you read Simon, he had a disciple named Simon the Canaanite. He was not a Hamite. When you look the word Canaanite up, it go back to the word Canaan, which means a zealot. Yeah. You see, some people out there, well, the Messiah had a Gentile that was a disciple. A lack of study. Y'all, all y'all got to do is just look these definitions up. Yeah. And you'll see for yourself.
Yeah, what they're going to realize is when you take away that Christianity mindset and you really get into the scriptures and you start studying from your language too, because you have to know your language per se. I'm at least looking up the concordance, at least doing that, and looking at root words. Once you get into it, the Bible, look, this is how you know if you're in Christianity or not. The Bible for itself, this book right here, 1611 edition version, King James, whatever. This Bible teach you how to be a revolutionary. Right. So if you compromising, or if you being politically correct, or if you soothsaying, or you got everybody's happy when you done teaching, then you're in Christianity. You're not in the Bible, because this Bible speak harsh words. Yeah. And this Bible is literally anti-government. It's anti-Roman, anti-Babylon, anti-Greek, anti-America, anti-anything that's not of Hebrew custom and culture. It's totally against it. Right. Totally. That's right. So if you say you studied up and you in this Bible and you don't have a revolutionary mindset and you don't hate the world, then you're a liar and you're in Christianity. It's just keeping it real.
It's just what it is, y'all. You feel me? And that was well said, because when you stand on the word, you're gonna be in total opposition to the spirit of the world. Man. Yeah. You feel me? So you may be somewhere where they're speaking, or they're PC Israelites, politically correct. The way they teach in a way to appease every side. You feel me? But all the prophets, the Messiah, the disciples, and all them, they challenged our people. You feel me? They spoke, they shot straight. Yeah. You understand? I'm talking about shot so straight that people always wanted to kill them or lock them up or do all type of stuff to them. You feel me? So if you really stand on his words, you're gonna be labeled a revolutionary, man. You dig? Or somebody that's a rebel, somebody that's seditious. Because even your speech, sedition. Once you look at the definition of, you're gonna see what sedition is.
I gotta pull it up too.
Yeah. So let's pull that up real quick. Sedition, because this is what he was accused of in the letters of Pontius Pilate. All right. He was accused of sedition. You feel me? So once he pulled it up, you see exactly what it is, and you see, oh, okay, I see why y'all named it this. Political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah. Your Messiah was revolutionary.
Yeah.
His whole job was to heal Israel, man, to get us to unite. You understand? To love one another, right? To teach us to conquer our sins. Because how can we ever conquer the Romans if we can't conquer self first?
Yeah.
Or conquer flesh first, should I say, the carnal nature. What kingdom, whatever kingdom you think you got coming will fall.
That's right. So
that's why people are like, well, he didn't deliver us from the Romans. No, he came and taught you first how to conquer sin, your lower self, your carnal nature. You feel me? That very thing that conquers you. And then on a physical level, you're supposed to look at sin as if they're the other nations. Like, I don't learn your customs. I don't do what you do. I don't worship how you worship. I don't eat how you eat. I don't dress how you dress. You see what I'm saying? No, we could never, and this is going back into what Yaki was teaching last night. We can never conquer our enemies, and we ain't conquered sinning yet.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, brothers out here not even striving to be perfect anymore. You just like, I'm blessed despite my transgressions. Where the hell you read that in the Bible?
Yeah.
Blessed despite my transgressions. No, you're damned because of your transgressions. You're cursed.
Yeah.
I can say in the book of Tobit, the 12th chapter, those that sin are enemies to their own soul.
Yeah.
You're not blessed despite your transgressions. You feel me? Or we all sinners. That put a spirit out there to where you get in bed with sin. You don't go to war with it. It's either one or two things. You either at war with sin or you're in bed with sin. Right? And everybody should be able to ask themselves that and be honest with yourself. All right, so what does sedition mean?
All right, we're going to look it up in Greek, then we're going to look it up in Hebrew. Sedition in the Greek concordance is G4714. I'm going to let y'all hear it out too.
Strong's G 4714. Stasis.
All right, so in the Greek concordance, it's stasis. It says a standing, station, state, a insurrection.
And what?
A insurrection.
Insurrection. Go ahead.
It says strife, insurrection, an uproar, a standing, a act. It says by implication, a popular uprising. All right. It says figuratively controversy. It says dissension, an insurrection, standing, an uproar. Now let's look it up in the Old Testament.
Y'all see that? And look, y'all, all this is caused by speech.
Yeah.
See, when you start speaking certain things that could possibly spark the minds of the people, you understand, and cause them to unite, that's what the masses are scared of. You understand? The Romans were scared of it, and the religious leaders of our day were scared of it, because if you got control of the people and they start paying attention to the one that's trying to unite them, you understand, under the right cause according to the Most High, you dig? Then guess what? You don't have any more money. Right? If the masses of people and thousands of people following the Messiah at a time, thousands, right? So guess who they supporting? They supporting his cause. They're not supporting the Pharisees and them anymore. They're not supporting the Sadducees. They're not supporting anybody. They rolling with him. You feel me? So guess what? Pockets starting to feel light around here. Bank accounts starting to feel light.
Yeah, they mess with the money.
You mess with that money, it becomes political. You understand? People try to take you about it. Y'all Kelly, pull up.
All right, so look, we got sedition in the Old Testament. It is the Hebrew concordance H49.
Strong's H 849. Eshtador.
And look, this is H-Tad-Dor, and it's only an Aramaic translation of it, y'all. So this is straight from the Aramaic translation. And it says to revolt.
To what?
To revert. To revolt.
Vote, huh?
Yeah. It says in a bad sense, a rebellion, sedition, to rebel.
Yeah. It's a revolutionary. That's why we named it this, because this is what he was charged with. Paul was even charged with this in Acts 24th chapter. All right. So without any further delay, we'll look up more definitions like Pharisees and Sadducees and all that later on. Also, counsel. Counsel is court or judgment, a deliberative body. You You feel me? So when you talk about they took a counsel on how they might destroy him, they called a closed door session. They called court.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And discussed this Messiah and how they would destroy him.
Man, that's when you take things to the grand jury and try to get a warrant out on him.
Yeah,
and that's what they did.
Yeah.
They indicted him.
Yeah.
And look, and people don't even understand once we get into the scriptures, he had been indicted. You know what I'm saying? They were just looking for somebody that can bring him in because he stayed ducked off and he was always to and fro.
Yeah.
They been trying to get at his head. He just stayed on the move. Just like if you look at that one movie, A Man Apart. He caught him because he went to the same place twice. Yeah. See, the Messiah used to be on the move, so it was hard to catch up with him. That's why they needed a brother to bring him in, one of his close friends, because he was always on the move. Yeah. But they had been put a hit out on him, man. Yeah, it's straight political, man.
That's right, Sanhedrin.
Yeah, the Sanhedrin.
Sanhedrin of the courts in ancient Israel.
Yeah,
like that's who you would be brought before. Witnesses would be brought out, and you would be judged by them. Yeah, those Sanhedrin are actually the courts. So when you see council, that's the Sanhedrin. Kind. Right. Those are the judgment seats. Right. And they had authority to put you to death. Yeah. You dig? This was a serious thing, man. All right. So first we're gonna go to John, the 2nd chapter, John chapter 2. We're gonna show a few occasions in which they started taking counsels to destroy him. You understand? And to show you that the Messiah himself was a revolutionary. His whole cause was to unite Israel under the Most High, under the Torah. You understand? And he the son of the Most High God, man, which unlocked the mysteries of the Torah, was healing. You understand? Raising the dead.
Messiah was a real nigga. Yeah. In a good term, yeah, he was. Look, he didn't lie. He was all about that action. Yeah. He was super anti-government, y'all. I'm talking about super anti-government. And he didn't mess with other nations like that. To the point where when he was at the well, another nation, a woman came by. And look, she like, you sure you want me to go fetch you? What? You sure? Me? I'm a dog, according to y'all. Like, this is how much we didn't even rock with heathens, y'all. Like, once you really start looking at this Bible from a political standpoint of view, man, it changed your whole perspective on what you've been getting taught, man. Period. It does, man. Period. Like, we literally organized and revolted and liberated amongst ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And it was to the point where if you was another brother and you went down with that, you was straight labeling cast a bootlicker and we ain't mess with you. Yeah, period.
Up, man. We're about to get into it, man. First, we're going to go to John, the 2nd chapter, John chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 13. We're going to read 13 through 25. All
right, type in your nines when you get there. We're in the book of John chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 13.
I got the juice. How you feeling, my brother?
Type in your nines.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he loved his people, man.
Yes,
loved his people,
man. A black, yeah. The Black Messiah Project.
Yeah. Well, he told the heathen, well, let the children be fed first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not meat for me to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. Yeah. She say, true Lord.
Yeah, true Lord.
True.
Yeah. All right, verse 13. Yeah. Book of John, chapter 2, verse 13.
Come on.
And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yahushua went up into Jerusalem. And found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and the changers of money sitting.
The changers of money, that's the bank, right? That's the bank right there. Money would have to be changed out, currency, because you got currency that had to be spent and exchanged because you coming into Jerusalem, you may be coming from a far country, right? An Israelite coming into Jerusalem from a far country considered a stranger, and you have to change out his money. Feel me? For Hebrew currency, like shekels and all that. All right. So he found them up in there doing that, right? Go ahead.
And look, according to scripture, y'all, when y'all get deep into the Old Testament, start really reading about how the Levitical priesthood set up the priests, you know what I'm saying, and the Sanhedrin and how they got down. Your schooling was at the temple. That's where you got your priestly education at. Mm-hmm. They had 6 months of initiation where they had to learn this thing inside the temple. The banks was inside the temple. Your community library, guess where that was at? Inside the temple. Right. This is how important the temple was because everything you needed but your food. Your food, you went to the local markets and stuff, you know what I'm saying, outside of Judea or whatever. But all of your major things you need, whether it was food, whether it was economics, which is the banking system, whether it was schooling, learning the education about the Torah scrolls, all of that. If you had to go see the doctor, the priests were the doctors. Right. So that was even your doctor's office. Anything you needed was the temple. That's how much that's why the temple was so important.
That's right.
You had to go to the temple because your daily necessities, other than your food and your water, was in where? The temple.
That's right.
That's why, look, that's why when he started overthrowing, they're like, oh, we got to put him down. He threatening the very thriving society of the Sanhedrin.
That's right. That's right. That, like the ox say, was the heart of the nation.
It was the heart of the nation. That's right, Mike Ayel.
That's right. That's right. Oh, we.
Let's get it. Verse 13 again. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yahushua went up to Jerusalem and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords,
made like a bull whip. All right, what the Messiah doing making that? That's skill. You feel me? Come on, Hebrew.
He drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money.
He got right at them finances. You see that? Now, if any movement you got going on, when you start touching the money, you dig? Now you become a problem. You got to be neutralized. You feel me? You got to be took out. And that's what happens. You understand? Look at a lot of assassinations that go on. Certain men that are very influential. You understand? And you start messing with that Federal Reserve note. You dig? Why you think the U.S. come hit your top?
Yeah.
Why you think?
Yeah.
Because you're messing with the Federal Reserve note, which just so happens to be the world's international reserve currency. So at this time, you understand, the Messiah got at the money. You dig? And then when we read his letters of Pontius Pilate, he said that right there was the nail in the coffin for him, because it turned political at that point. Trip off that. He said you can argue, they could argue about their God all day, we wouldn't care. But the moment he did what we reading about, you feel me? There was a mark on his back by the Roman government.
We got to realize that Pontius Pilate had to go holler at the emperor anyway. He even had a command too. So anything that's messing, he didn't want to get his head hit either.
Yeah, exactly. Because he'd have been killed for not controlling rebellion.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
It says, and overthrew the tables.
So he throwing over tables and everything. Don't forget, he made a bull whip. You did. Overthrowing tables, driving the sheep up out of there, the oxen. Right? You know, people just put yourself there. You'd have been like, man, who is that old boy going hard over there?
Yeah. Hey, this how you got in the truth, though?
Yeah.
I bet it was a lot of people like, I need to be rocking with him.
I need to be going with he going hard, bro. He don't care. Man, look, he don't care about the money changes. He don't care about them oxen, animal. He even made a bull whip.
Yeah.
You dig? And this is not a private matter. It wasn't just him and a few people. The temple was packed every day.
Yeah.
This happened in front of more than likely hundreds to thousands of people.
Now, people, what Mally said, it happened people was there every day because, again, people needed to go to the doctor. The priest was the doctor. People needed to go get their sins forgiven. The priest was forgiving sins at this time. People needed to go exchange their money because the temple was the bank. People needed to go get their spiritual education because at that time that was education, y'all.
They had the scrolls.
They had the scrolls. All this was in the temple. So look, he there in the midst of everybody noonday, flipping over tables, whooping ass, and messing with the money.
This is what put an X on his back by the Roman government.
Yeah.
Look, the Sanhedrin was already taking counsel to destroy him. But when he did this, you understand, his execution or his assassination became political.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about this, y'all, because he got crucified during the Passover. This is what we leading up to. You understand? We want to stay in the spirit of Passover because we got Passover coming up in say, boy, 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. 2 days.
Less than 48 hours from now, we'll be celebrating the Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread here in the STL.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. The Most High is merciful, man. All right, come on, Knock. Let's get it.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence. Make not my father's house a house of merchandise.
He's like, get this up out of here. When he says take these things hence, right? You got to remember, put yourself in here and extrapolate.
Yeah.
Meaning pull out all the detail you can from each verse and put yourself there. Like, see, like try to envision yourself watching this revolutionary Messiah get at the bankers, making chords, telling everybody, get this up out of here in front of hundreds of people. Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
And his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thy house hath eaten me up.
Psalm 69:9. So even what he did was prophecy. It wasn't like he got emotional and did it based off him being impulsive. This was prophecy. Huh? Psalm 69:9. Everything the Messiah did was calculated and it was prophetic. And because of that, he's a revolutionary, because it's impossible to be uncompromising and to stand on this word and be politically correct.
Yeah.
And I know men that teach like that. Their whole job is to make you feel good or prophesy smooth things, all while quoting the verses if it ain't talking about them.
Yeah.
You dig? This Bible was not about being politically correct, because if it was, Messiah would have never overthrew the tables. He would have never made the bullwhip. He would have never told them, take these things hence.
He would have never got killed.
He would have never been assassinated.
Yeah.
Or crucified had he been politically correct. You dig? This Bible, if you're going to stand on this word, in other words, you're going to be set apart, that's going to make you, they're going to label you a revolutionary or a rebel.
And look, the crazy thing, God, he told us that you all will suffer persecution for my name's sake. If y'all being Messiah, if I'm raising, y'all going to be just like me.
That's right.
Just know the whip is coming. Just know the stakes coming. Just know the execution chamber is coming, because you going to mess with their money, because you anti the beast. You anti their system.
That's right.
Period.
That's right. Believe that.
All right, verse 18.
Let's get it.
Then answered the Jews and said unto him, what sign showeth thou unto us, seeing that thou doest these things?
So they asking him, what sign you show us? What authority do you have? You understand? Because anybody that come in there and get at the temple like that and get at the money changers and make a bullwhip got to be there under some type of authority, don't you? You ain't just finna be this average Joe Schmo Israelite out the hills, just walk up and do that.
Right.
You feel me? Because look, even in the temple, y'all, they got officers. You understand? You get locked up. You understand? You get murdered by these cats, man. They got the authority to kill. We got officers, captains, all of it. You see? So what authority, what sign you show? Because you gotta have some type of authority to be doing this.
Yeah.
Ooh, right.
And look, they go deep in what you're talking about, that it went political, because usually the Sanhedrin will sentence you to your death. But this time they handed Messiah over to who? The Romans.
Yeah.
It even became above the Sanhedrin head.
Yeah.
Once he hit the money tables, Rome was like, oh, he gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pontius Pilate was like, look, I gotta hit his head. So once you really start thinking about this, man, look, your Marcus Garveys, your Malcolm X, your Martin Luther Kings,
right.
This is the same exact thing that's happening to this very day. Yep. You start messing with this heathen money, you getting hit. Period.
Yeah. That's real talk, man. Believe that. That's why he said all those that live godly in Messiah shall suffer persecution.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why us loving each other and moving toward each other is so vital and important. You understand? They fear that too.
Yeah.
You see, not only that you set apart and you standing on his word and you labeled a rebel, but that all them over there love each other, man.
Yeah.
You feel me? We can't none of us sneak up in there and even try to even harm any of one of them.
Caesar, they're organized.
They all ready to live and die for one another at the drop of a dime.
Caesar, they're organized.
They're organized under their God.
Under their God. We gotta go get them now.
And they took on the real personality and character of the Son of God.
Oof.
You dig? That whole Christianity, white boy Jesus, passive, look like he won't bust a grape, did not work.
Yeah.
Your worst nightmares come true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your worst nightmares come true.
Yeah, we tried to whitewash the faces of the judgment. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Hey, Caesar put out a decree. Go get him. Yeah. Go get him now.
Yeah.
All right, verse 19.
Let's get it.
Yahweh answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up.
That's right.
Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body.
You hear that? You understand? Like, look, he was letting it be known, like everything that y'all doing in this physical temple spiritually represent me and my body. You see? And he let it be known resurrection is coming. Right? Power. There's a changing of the guard that came. There's a power shift. You see? So for him to do that, to get at the temple, you dig? And the temple is revered from all over the world, but he's like, nah, I'm the son of the living power. Right? My body is the temple, and you are my body.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
And look, one more thing.
Go ahead.
This is what you just said. And look, just imagine how important this temple was. So if you start really looking, Jews used to straight come up from up out of their country and their homelands where they was born at to come to keep the feast in Jerusalem. That's right. The first thing they used to do is to go worship in the temple. So like this is like the revered thing to everybody that was outside of Judea too. You know what I'm saying? Like how me and Mally is right now. We can't wait till our passports pass where we can get for we can get home to Jerusalem, keep the feast days. Now imagine if the temple was standing that day. That's everybody going in that deal. You know what I'm saying? So when he did that, it wasn't only assault on the Sanhedrin. The Romans looked at that too, because the Romans was actually getting paid. Look, we been the consumers, y'all. We've been the consumers. The money had, look, the empire already had their stakes in hands in the Sanhedrin. Why you think the high priest wanted him dead? Because they was messing up everybody money. Messiah stopped the money flow.
That's right.
He stopped the money flow.
Yeah, man was converting thousands at a time.
Boy.
Now you go out to the streets and maybe 1 or 2 people listen. Messiah do a powerful work, and the next day 3,000 people added to his movement.
Imagine you going to work all day and you get off work, you got paid your daily wages when you got off, and you like, yeah, I'm finna go get my meat, my drink, and my bread. Then the Messiah hit you on the shoulder. You know, you don't thirst no more. I'll give you everlasting water. You don't need no physical bread.
Right.
Yo, he stopped. Hey, look, he's shutting down stores.
Yeah.
He's shutting down all that.
Yeah.
You don't even need that physical thing right now. Fast, and I'll give you everlasting bread.
That's right.
Then he multiplying fish
right.
out of the sea. You don't gotta go to the fish market no more. Like, look, he was testing that money, man.
Yeah, he got the insurance policies.
Boy.
Because ain't nobody going to the priest to get healed no more. They going to him.
And he raising the dead
Raising
too.
the dead.
Raising niggas up out their caskets.
So you can kill the what they call them, the morticians.
Yeah, the morticians ain't none
Get
of
that on
that.
up out of here. You dig? I mean, every facet of life that men were getting paid off of, he straight snatched it.
Yeah.
You understand? Every aspect of it. Your spiritual life, your education,
Everything.
diseases. So no doctors, no teachers. I mean, all of it, man.
Yeah.
You understand? Revolutionary. And this is why, because he became a threat, that he was assassinated, man.
Yeah.
You feel me? And also because of a lack of love of the brethren.
Yeah.
You understand? Because had the Sanhedrin really understood what it was, and which a lot of them did, you feel me? They would have stood down. They would have known, look, either accept Messiah or be destroyed.
Yeah.
Because eventually what happened? The Romans poured into Jerusalem and destroyed it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They had been better off just what? Getting down and bowing their neck.
God.
Because the true king was here. You understand? At one time he rode to Jerusalem, was like, hey, don't cry for me, daughters of on his way to being executed. Don't cry for me, daughters of Jerusalem. Cry for yourselves.
Yeah.
You understand? Like I would have got, look, the gathering could have been now. Could have been now. You understand? But the leaders did not want to accept what it was, man. They didn't want to give up power. All right. Come on, Hebrew. Let's get it.
Verse 22. When therefore he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this unto them.
Yeah.
And they believed the scriptures and the word of Yahushua had said. And it says, now when he was in Jerusalem at the Pesach in the feast day, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did.
Ooh.
But Yahushua did not commit himself unto them,
Yeah.
because he knew all men and needed not that any should testify of men.
Right.
For he knew what was in men.
He already knew what was in man. You know, he understood man was evil.
Yeah.
That our people were evil. They'll sell you out for $5 if need be.
Yeah.
Did he be? Everybody knew who he was. Peeped the miracles, but he didn't commit himself. You feel me? Because at that time it was not the time, man. You see what I'm saying? So now we're painting a picture and showing a different picture than this Christianity, white boy Jesus that loved everybody. You dig? No, he was a threat. Anytime somebody's a threat, they call it marginalizing them. We got to marginalize them. We got to neutralize them. We have to assassinate him. You understand? And also our leaders were installed. They were puppet leaders. They were allowed to rule by the Roman Empire or the Roman government seizing them as long as they kept down rebellions, just like your Al Sharptons, you understand, Jesse Jacksons, all your leaders that are still living, that compromised, that sold out, Louis Farrakhan and them, all of them. Right? So now you can see who these leaders were in that day. And then you got a radical revolutionary like the Messiah, you understand, popping up doing miracles, healing folks so the doctors ain't getting paid, teaching folks so the teachers ain't getting paid, you understand? Raising the dead so you can kill the hospitals, doing, I mean, everything, man. Every facet of life and getting at the money changers. You feel me? So there go the banks. That's what put an X on his back. All right, drop it. Let's go to John 11 next. John 11, verse 40 through 57. Showing y'all this was a political assassination. It's political.
Read the book of John 11. Type in y'all nouns when y'all get there.
It was political, y'all. It wasn't nothing else. You feel me? Church tried to throw this thing on there like it just was so like mystical. You understand? And just because he walked around You know what I'm saying? And it had a smooth message, like you was spreading on parquet. You dig? That's why he was killed, because he just was just full of love. No, he was a problem.
Yeah.
The love he was teaching was to unite Israel.
Yeah.
You feel me? And to snatch the power from these pompous elders.
He was all about gathering, man.
Yeah, gathering the people. That's what he was about.
Unity.
Brunity.
That's what he was about. Hey, he was about Hebrew unity. That's what
right,
he was
man.
about.
That's right. I am not simple unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's a revolutionary statement, man.
Yeah.
You dig?
All right, so we in the book of John.
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11.
We'll start at verse 40. I see y'all there.
Verse 40.
Let's get it.
It said, Jehovah said unto her, said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of Elohim?
See, if you just have faith, you see the glory of Yahweh, man. Just believe. This was about Lazarus, his brother, his best friend, one of his partners, right? And he told his sister, look, if you just have faith, you'll see glory, right? And that's something major Israel need, man. We need to learn to love one another and to believe in our Creator. Messiah showed us, man. Messiah already showed us. Judah, your hand gonna be at the neck of your enemies. The tents of Judah shall be saved first. Judah gonna go to war in Jerusalem. Upon Mount Zion shall come saviors, right? He's our Messiah, and we the lords to the nations, right? You ain't even figured out the duality of Messiah. You ain't even figured that out. You ain't even figured it out. It's funny, boy. There's some non-messianics didn't figure that out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How messianics can't see that.
Yeah.
The crucial end time role that the tribe of Judah, that the Messiah descends from, the role that they play in end time prophecy.
God.
You ain't even figured it out yet. You understand? He says you're gonna do greater works than me if you just believe. You understand? You got to believe, and that makes sense, because who gonna fight any type of war, revolution, and they don't really believe the cause that they fighting for? Right? You're not gonna be successful in that. So you gotta have faith. You gotta believe that the Most High is with us. You feel me? And again, his whole thing was to teach us how to conquer sin before we can conquer our physical enemies, man. You got to conquer that carnal flesh. You feel me? That's what has to happen. This man was a threat, man. Our Lord was a straight threat, because he's also teaching the people to what? Conquer their fleshly nature.
Yeah.
So now they're liberated and they're free, and they can become the spiritual, perfect man that the Most High created them to be. And on top of that, had a spiritual power to destroy their enemies. That scared them. And on top of that, he getting at the money changers. And on top of that, he getting at the doctors. And on top of that, he getting at the lawyers. And on top of that, he putting the hospitals out of business. And on top of that, he emptying out the synagogues. This man was beyond a threat. Wait till we get into this Pontius Pilate book. You gonna see.
All right, verse 41. Then they took away the stone from the place where dead was laid. Where dead was laid. And Yahweh lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou have heard me, and I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou have sent me.
That's right. You got to know the Most High is with you, man. Feel me? Like, put yourself there. You see, Messiah came and showed us how to walk it, and he already got his ink. He's at the right hand of the Father. He's the head. You his body. What you gonna do? You see how he's praying to the Father? That's how you need to be praying to the Father. I know you with me. Yeah, confidence, belief. All right, go ahead.
Verse 43. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth.
See, he didn't say, oh, Lazarus, come on out of the grave. No, he had to roar that deal. Father, I know you with me. And after he did that, he roared it in full faith. Lazarus, come on about that grave. Come on, Hebrew.
And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave cloth, and his face was bound with a napkin. Yahweh said unto them, loose him and let him go. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen these things which Yahweh did believed on him.
That said many Jews. You see that? See, so kill that whole white evangelical Christian mindset. None of the Jews believed in Jesus. They rejected Jesus. That said many of them.
Yeah.
Right? And this man is resurrecting the dead. Oh, he is a problem. Not only do he have organizational skills, not only is he has ingenuity skills, He has spiritual power that no man has seen since.
Yeah, they like this extraterrestrial being.
This man is beyond. We got to look. We got to kill him.
Hey, whatever we got to do.
Notice it said many of the Jews. So if many of the Jews believing on him, guess who they not believing in?
Exactly.
The religious leaders.
Yeah.
They didn't have control of the people. You don't got the people. You don't got the power. Yeah, he was snatching power. This was political. Come on, let's get it.
Verse 46.
Yeah.
But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees.
To who?
To the Pharisees. And told them what things Yahushua had done.
Can we look up that Pharisee?
Yes.
Look up that Pharisee right there in John 11 and 46. One of the political parties that were against Messiah. H5330.
John 11 verse 46.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah. Real thing this. Right? The Messiah is revolutionary, man. You understand? And that's what we got coming. We got coming, a project that we're doing. You understand? Where we're going to be organizing brothers and sisters first locally and then nationwide. You know what I'm saying? All y'all got to do is implement the same blueprint. That's all you got to do is implement the same blueprint. You understand? You dig? And it's going to be a problem. And it's all spiritual. It's all about the Mashiach. That's what this thing is about, man. You understand? Because he's the image of the living power, and we are supposed to become him, to conform to his image. You understand? And in that, the mysteries and power, the set apart spirit will manifest within our lives.
That's right.
You feel me? And guess what? We can conquer our flesh and conquer our enemies. This is what they feared. And that's why J. Edgar Hoover said there would never be another black Messiah unless we give it to them. Yeah. They fear the rise of the anointed.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's something else we got coming for y'all. We got a project we working on.
Big project.
You feel me? To where we organizing locally, and then we use the same blueprint and organize nationally. And the end game is Zion, to raise the international awareness about Zion. You understand? Why y'all think we start praying at these hours? Mm-hmm. Everything about Zion now. You understand? Now we praying at the same time as our people in the land. Mm-hmm. The Most High start blessing, all type of blessings start coming up. Yeah. Heaven start opening up.
We had a meeting today with one of the chairmen of Ferguson, Missouri. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some stuff going on, putting in major work. You know what I'm saying? Not being complacent, sitting on our hands and spreading false words about each other. We really trying to put in work for the flock of Yahushua.
That's right.
Black Messiah Project.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
All right, let's get it. All
right, so look, Pharisee.
Yeah.
Let me let y'all listen to it. Hold on. Turn it up for y'all.
G 5330. Pharisaios. Pharisaios.
All right, Pharisaios is G5330. And it says, let's go all the way down to the Strongs. It says of Hebrew origin, it says a separatist. A separatist.
So not nobody that's uniting the Israelites. Not nobody that's uniting, a separatist. Read that long definition, right up in there.
It says a sect that seems to have started after the Jewish exile. Mm-hmm. It says, in addition of Old Testament books, the Pharisees recognized an oral tradition, a standard of belief in life. They sought for the distinction and praise by outward observation of external rites and by outward forms of piety. It says, in such as ceremonies, washing, fasting, prayer, and alms giving, and comparatively the negligency of genuine piety. They prided themselves on their, how you say that word?
Fancy.
On their fancy good works.
Yeah. In other words, everything was about out of cup things for them. Right? They weren't sincere in what they were doing. They were not sincere. And today you'll see that people believe just because outwardly they're saying doing something or appearing a certain way outwardly, that they don't have to really be sincere in serving Yod-Heh-Wahed. They really don't have to be sincere in loving their brothers and sisters. Right? That's a Pharisee mindset. They have an overinflated view or sense of self-worth. Narcissism.
Yeah, very narcissistic.
That is a Pharisee mindset. You have an overinflated sense of self-worth.
Yeah. Like
the party ain't a party without you there. Huh?
Yeah.
That's a Pharisee.
They get deeper too. It says they held strenuously to a belief in the existence of good and evil angels and to the expectation of a Messiah, and they cherished the hope they cherish the hope that the dead, after the preliminary experience either of reward or a penalty of Hades, it says, would be recalled to life by him, and they be requited each according to his individual deeds, in opposition to them who usurp dominion of the Herods and the rule of the Romans. They stoutly upheld a theocracy,
not a democracy, right, or a republic. A theocracy is a government in which the priests run, right? They would, in other words, remember the Messiah say the scribes and Pharisees sit in whose seat? Right, Moses' seat. They had the authority over the nation. That's what a theocracy is. It's a government ran by the spiritual people or the spiritual leaders. It's a theocracy ran by priests. All right, go ahead.
All right, they stoutly upheld a theocracy in their country's cause and possessed great influence with the common people.
Yeah, possessed great influence. They were the leaders. So go ahead.
According to Josephus, they numbered more than 6,000.
There was 6,000 of these enemies of Messiah. So now you see, you understand, when he come around doing what he's doing, he's taking the power and influence that this 6,000 political body has. The 6,000 political party has. He's taking all that authority that they have from them. You feel me? Because now the common people, many of the Jews, like we just read, believing in Messiah and not looking toward this political faction right here.
It says they were bitter enemies of Yahushua.
What kind of enemies?
Bitter enemies of Yahushua and his cause. And his message, his cause.
Yeah.
And were in turn severely rebuked by him.
Severely rebuked
by him for their variance, ambition, hollow reliance on outward works.
Yeah.
It says and affection of piety in order to gain popularity.
Yeah. So in other words, they weren't sincere. They weren't sincere at all. You understand? That's why Paul even say, don't be desirous of vainglory, because that's what Pharisees were all about. All right. So we right back to John 11:46. So after the Messiah did this miracle, so you know everybody, many of the Jews. So if they're following him, they're not following Pharisees no more, or Sadducees. That means they don't have the influence. They are losing money. You understand? And the people are looking toward him. All right, go ahead.
Verse 46. Yeah. But some of them went their way to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done.
So they go snitch on. All right, go ahead.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council.
What?
A council.
Look that
and
word.
Said.
Look that up for me real quick.
I got you up.
Council. So y'all, this is all political. If you dealing with political parties and you dealing with courts, you understand? What do you think this is about? If you're dealing with Democrats and Republicans and you're dealing with the Supreme Court, how do you not realize that what Yahushua was doing was politics? How, when you're dealing with political parties and courts and laws and judgments? How is this not political? And country and structure and government? How is this not political? Go ahead, Doc. What did it say?
All right, this is the Greek Concordance 4892, and it says
Strong's G 4892. Sanhedrin.
Or Sanhedrin.
Sanhedrin. That's what it says.
So when you see council in the scripture, that's Sanhedrin. Some people say, I don't see Sanhedrin in the Bible. Just look up council. Yeah. When they say they went and held a council, they went to the Sanhedrin.
What did it say? Sanhedrin.
Those were the courts.
Sanhedrin.
Yeah, those were the courts.
It says an assembly. It says a magistrates, judges, ambassadors. It says whether conveyed or deliberate or passed judgment. It says a session or assembly or people deliberating or adjudicating.
Adjudicate. Meaning passing judgments.
Yeah.
Like look, this so-called government here, they got three branches of government. They got the executive, the judicial, and the legislative, right? The legislative draw up the law, the judicial judge on the law, and the executive execute on the law. You see? So when you see something about adjudication, right, that's about judgment. All right, go ahead.
That makes sense, though, because you got your scribes, you got your Pharisees. You got, that makes sense. It says the Sanhedrin. The Great Council at Jerusalem. It says consisting of 71 members, scribes, elders, prominent members of the high priestly families, and the high priest, the president of the assembly. It says the most important cause were brought before the tribunal, in as much as the Roman rulers of Judea had left it in the power of trying such cases.
Yeah, see, so these men actually were puppet rulers.
Yeah, for the Romans.
Puppet judges for the Romans.
Same thing they doing with a white boy that's in office now. How the Jewish
Donald Trump.
And how the 13 bloodlines rule him.
Yeah, y'all see this? So that's why the title is The Assassination of the Revolutionary Messiah. Because what we're seeing now is this thing was purely political. And y'all, all this is around our high holy day called Pesach. You know what I'm saying? And Chag Matzot, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. See? Political.
You're deep.
Nothing mystical, purely political. All right, go ahead.
It says, and also the pronouncing of sentences of death.
Hold on. So they had the authority to put us to death?
Yeah.
Yeah. And guess where they held court at? That good old temple.
That good old temple is where everything went down.
That temple was where the Sanhedrin held court at. So whenever the Messiah was in the temple, dialoguing, discoursing, silencing Pharisees, healing, turning over money tables, y'all realize all this was happening in front of everybody that was there.
Yeah.
Hey,
and this next part is very important. It says, with the limitation of a capital sentence pronounced by the Sanhedrin was not valid unless it was confirmed by the Roman prosecutor.
Yeah, so Pilate. Pilate had to confirm it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because according to them, he committed high treason.
Yeah, sedition and rebellion. Right? And you in the Roman Empire living in a Roman province saying the only king is Messiah. Right? That'll get you put to death and him. Ooh-wee. Let's get it, Hebrew.
Yeah, now you got a freedom of speech. You can just say whatever. But they hidden head, you start messing with that money, though.
Yeah, real talk. They'll rendition you. You can think you got freedom of speech now. They got something called rendition. Yeah. You understand? I'm talking about swoop you up indefinitely. Don't even let your family know where you're at. Hold you. Don't even let you come before the tribunal. Nothing. Yeah. Just vanish you.
We've been doing some of them Arabs.
Yeah. Come on, Hebrew. Let's get it.
All right, we're in verse 47.
John 11 and 47. Right, go ahead.
It says, then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
That means they knew he was sent by the Most High. None of them were doing miracles. Nobody had been even doing miracles on this level ever. None of the prophets, nobody got down like Yahushua, man. Yeah. You understand? So in their Sanhedrin, in their council, where they got the authority to put to death, they admitted off their lips, what are we going to do? Because he is doing miracles. He just raised the dead. What are we going to do now? You feel me? Come on now.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
And hold on, what you say?
Oh. If we let him thus alone, if we leave him alone,
come on,
all men will believe on him.
Now, why would the Sanhedrin be mad and afraid that everybody would believe on him?
Because they ain't no more needing getting healed by the priest. Ain't no more needing to exchange money at the temple. Ain't no more need for no spiritual education at the temple because he's teaching the scrolls. Ain't no more need for no doctor because he healing. Ain't no more need for buying food and water. He manipulating fish and matter and bread, giving people water. They like, look, if they start believing on Messiah, he gonna shut the whole government system down.
You hear me? And we have no more influence over the people. We are broke, raggedy, and poor at this point.
Done.
We're finished.
We're done.
You dig? And instead of just saying, you know what? How about we just follow him?
That's right. No more walking.
Yeah. How about we just follow him, man? You dig? Men will kill you to retain their power.
Yeah.
Remember that. That's why assassination's been happening since the days of old.
Yeah.
Because men don't want to step down from power. Imagine. You driving a Bentley or a Bugatti, and the next day they see you on the bus.
Ooh.
Huh? For a person like me, it would be nothing because I don't care about material things. But for somebody that's proud and got an overinflated sense of self-worth, like a Pharisee, oh man, he'd rather kill himself. Yeah.
That's why you see them bankers jumping off the roof and jumping out of windows, man.
All these bankers
killing themselves, man.
Yeah.
Jumping out of windows.
Yeah.
That stock market crash, they going head first out of window quick.
Yeah. It's over for thou.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
48 again.
Yeah.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
Come on.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Ooh, see, and that's how the Romans gave them authority to rule. You did. But they say if we don't get him under control, because the things he doing is causing a rebellion in their eyes, right? All the people are believing on him. That's rebellion to them, right? The Romans gonna take away our place or our seat, our position of authority, and our nation. We will no longer even be in control of the people. You see, this was political, man. The whole thing was political. Come on, now let's get it.
Verse 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest, that same year said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
You see, so trip off that. Caiaphas, the high priest, and on the real, Yahushua is the true high priest. So you got the high priest under the order of Aaron saying, look, y'all tripping. It's expedient for us that one man die for the nation and not everybody suffer. You understand? They are actually holding a death council on him. They coming together holding these councils with the end game being death, y'all. Because power is being taken. Influence they have no more. You understand? And the temple, people losing focus on the temple being the heartbeat of the nation, and they're focusing on Messiah, looking at the higher spiritual understandings of the tabernacle and temple. You feel me? Messiah was here to raise us, elevate us spiritually, man. That way we would conquer our flesh and conquer our enemies. But you're not about to conquer this so-called white man until you conquer yourself. Until you conquer them sins and become perfect. That's why that message you spit yesterday was so powerful. What you taught yesterday was so powerful. Overcoming corruption, because that's what the Messiah came to show us. Right? And until we do that, we'll never take our place in this earth, man. Yeah, this is real revolution.
Yeah.
Right. And when you stand on this Bible, you're gonna be labeled a rebel.
Yeah. Outcast.
You understand? Because what you're doing, you're uncompromised and unbending to the ways of the world. Right? It's even radical to a lot of these cupcake Israelites.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very radical. Like, hold on, bro, you're going too hard. I heard a brother tell me one time, that sounds sacrilegious. I said, boy, you sound soft.
That sounds
sacrilegious. Boy, you sound soft. Why? Because I refuse to work on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
You dig? And because brothers would rather make that sacrifice and dedicate our lives to this thing and watch the Most High bless.
Yeah.
But now the brothers are sacrilegious. You brothers sounding like Pharisees out here, man. All right, come on, now let's get
verse 50. Verse 51. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest, that year he prophesied that Yahushua should die for the nation.
Y'all heard that? He prophesied when he said that. And it's wild because the Most High still prophesied through the mouth of somebody that's off. We read it in 1 Kings 13 not that long ago. The prophet that lied to him eventually opened his mouth and prophesied. The Most High used him to pronounce judgment on him. So what Caiaphas was saying was really the Most High moving him to say that. Yeah. Come on, Hebrew, let's get it. Okay. Right here. This is John the 11th chapter. John chapter 11. I'm going to read verse 50 again. I'm going to read 50 and 51. Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people. That one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation. You see that? That he would die for that nation. Wow. All right, come on now.
Verse 52. And not for that nation only.
Not only for those that are in Judea, not only for the Judeans, right? Come on.
But that also he should gather together in one, the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Those are the Israelite foreigners. And even in her, Josephus going to the foreign Israelites that would come up to Jerusalem for Passover and then leave and go back home to Greece, go back home to Asia, and go back home to North Africa. All right, so that nation he's talking about was those that were living in Judea. Read Acts chapter 2. You got Israelites from out of every nation under heaven that will come to Jerusalem for the feast. Right? This ain't talking about Ned Flanders, Mr. Rogers. Jerry Seinfeld, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. It's talking about us. The nation was scattered. Not only for us in Judea, but also for the children of the Almighty that were scattered abroad. All right, go ahead. Let's get it.
53.
Mhm.
Then from that day forth, they took counsel together for to put him to death.
Do y'all see that? This whole thing was political, and they was like, look, we have to assassinate him. Right? They took counsel, meaning they were holding closed door sessions. Counsel with Sanhedrin, judgment, courts, all right, authority to put to death. That means they were holding closed door sessions. They bring out indictments, and they've already rendered judgments. When you see him, it's time to put him down. You see, the whole thing was political. All right, go ahead, Doc, let's get it.
Verse 54. Yahweh shot
That was
therefore.
John 11 and 53, Maurice Clark. All right, come on, Hebrew.
54. Yahweh shot therefore walked no more openly among the Jews, but went thence unto a country near to the wilderness, unto a city called Ephraim, and there continued with his disciples.
So you looking like, okay, he went out the country. No, see, that's why you got to have a basic understanding of the geography of the land. It's just basically letting you know that he wouldn't walk no more openly in Judea. Feel me? Amongst the Sanhedrin and the Pharisees and them. He went outside of Jerusalem and dwelt in a town called Ephraim. All right, just look the word up. Start looking words up like country and all that. You say, oh, okay, that don't mean he went to Corinth or anything. That don't mean he went to Athens, Greece. He still was in the land of Israel. He didn't walk no more openly in Jerusalem. You feel me? And that shows you that he was what? Ducked off.
Yeah, ducked off.
He wasn't just all out front like
it was hard to catch him. That's
they
why they
ducked
needed
off.
to use his homeboy to get him.
Yeah.
Notice it's always the homeboy that's in the clique that fulfill the assassination, man, or hand you over to the people that's gonna do the job. That's why when you teach brother unity or brew unity and true love, that's gonna cut all that out. And that's why they had to get him.
Yeah.
Once you get all the brothers loving one another, ain't nobody. Why would I give up my brother?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't even be able to hit Christ if it wasn't for a Judas. If Judas loved Christ like he was supposed to, he wouldn't have never gave him up. Period.
Ever. Especially for no money.
Yeah.
When the scripture say the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
I don't love money. There's not even an amount you can give me to hit my brother or to sell him out. It'll never happen. You feel me? You might as well put me down as soon as you try.
Yeah.
As soon as you offer, you might as well put me down because it ain't happening. All right, go ahead, Doc. Let's get it.
We're in the book of John, chapter 11, verse 55.
That's the letters of Pontius Pilate. We're going to read it later, light dappers. That's the letters of Pontius Pilate written during his governorship of Judea to his friend Seneca in Rome. We're going to read about the arrest of the Messiah and the trial and execution. According to Pontius Pilate, the Roman, you understand, that condemned him. Wait till you hear from his own mouth how he described Messiah. You understand? And his movement. Wait till you hear it.
All right, verse 55.
Yeah.
And the Jews' Pesach was nigh at hand, and many went out of the country up into Jerusalem before the Pesach to purify themselves.
See, so if you were living in Israel as well, you would go to Jerusalem. Right? That's why I say out the country. But if you start looking these words up like country, you're gonna see out of the city or the town or the land of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not the only city in Israel. You got many of the Galilee. You got all types of different cities. You know what I'm saying? Bethsaida, Bethel. You understand? You got all types of different cities. So it's just saying that they went up out of their cities and would start going towards Jerusalem, right? Because that's where you had to be at for the feast. All right, go ahead, Al, let's get it.
Verse 56. Then sought they of Yahushua and spake among themselves as they stood in the temple. What think ye, that he will not come to the feast? Now both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a commandment that if any man knew where he were, he should show it, that they might take him.
If you knew where he was, you were supposed to snitch and let us know so we can come in and arrest him. Because even our police officers, our law enforcers were at the headquarters at the temple.
Yeah.
You see, so the fact that he got at the temple, flipped the tables, got at the money changers, you understand, and then walked out that deal and wasn't arrested, man, please. Everybody ducking. Y'all get some understanding. Throw a 7 up in the chat. Next scripture we're going to go to, I want to show you the same thing they was charging Messiah with, they was charging Paul with. Give me Acts 16, 19 to 21. We'll read a couple of these in Acts, and you're going to see it's the same thing, man. When you follow the Messiah and take on the true personality and spirit of him, you become a threat to the establishment. You look at these Sunday churches now, the Creflo Dollar and them ain't no threat. They're not teaching the true gospel, right? That's why the nations and even a lot of these bootlicking elders in Israel, they fear brunity or Israel gathering together. They fear, but that's what the Messiah was teaching. If you're not gathering, you what? Scattering.
Yep.
He that is not with me is what? Against me.
Straight up.
That's a revolutionary statement to make, man. He ain't saying, you know, if you feel like joining me, come on. Now, you ain't with me, you against me. Oh, you know, and that's rattling folks. On top of that, don't forget the spiritual power that he had, right? Political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah, right? And we read it now. If you just slow down and reread what it is, trip off his enemy's response to him, right? They like, look, we got to hold another council, man.
Yeah.
We got to hold a closed door court session on him. We need to indict him and we need to pronounce judgment on him, death. Y'all know where he at? There's a warrant out for his arrest. Y'all know where he at? Let us know so we can go lock him up.
And this how you know it was a warrant out for reward for his arrest, because Judas got the reward. That's how you know it was they put a bag on the Messiah head, man.
Yeah.
And it was paid off.
Mm-hmm.
See that? It's crazy.
Real talk, man. So now you're getting a deeper understanding than that soft pacifist that didn't try to pass off this whole time to you. Look like he won't bust a grape. Trip off, and that's how you know it was an agenda behind all the Jesus movies we watched growing up. Because whoever that heathen was that played him, boy, did not look convincing.
It was super soft.
Even when I was a child, I was like, I can't relate to. He like Charles Manson.
Yeah.
He like Jax Taylor from the Sons of Anarchy. He don't look tough.
Yeah.
You know, like he'll bust a grape.
Yeah.
You feel me? But once you slow down and really understand what it is, I'm talking about outside of knowing he was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, outside of knowing he had woolly hair and dark skin, right? When you slow down and realize and trip off his message and what he really was teaching and the power that he was displaying, hey, he was a threat and he had to be cut off by his enemies. And yeah, they were playing in the prophecy, but trip off the politics that went play here. Trip off the politics that went play. All right, give me Acts 16, 19 through 21.
All right, we in the book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 19. And when her master saw that the hope of their gains was gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers.
Now, the marketplaces, right? Or the courts.
Yeah.
All right, now they outside of Israel at this point. What happened is Paul just cast a spirit of divination off someone in the authority of Messiah. He just cast a spirit of divination off this woman in the authority of Messiah. So guess what? When they figured out they couldn't get no more money, Paul had the money.
Yeah.
Right? The same spirit the Messiah was in, overthrowing the tables, the money changers. He got at the money. As soon as Paul got at the money, in the authority of a Mashiach, the Messiah, whom they crucified, guess what they did with Paul and Silas? They locked them up and brought them to court, the judgment seats. All political, man. Everything was political. Right? So now you're looking at this Bible for real from the proper lens.
Yeah.
And not a Christianity religious high. Because this ain't what this is.
God.
Right? None of these. Joel Osteen ain't no threat out here. Joyce Myers is not a threat. Kenneth Copeland, Jimmy Swaggart, who the hell else is out here? Creflo Dollar, Titty Snakes.
Yeah, all of them.
Leroy Thompson.
They all politically correct, man.
Yeah, they all PC.
Yeah.
They not real revolutionaries, of course. They not real followers of the Messiah, because guess what? The government would have been got at them if they was really pushing this.
Think about it, and they got millions of followers. Ain't making no noise.
Man, no noise.
I got millions of followers. I'm trying to overthrow the country if I got it.
Man, look, we get 144,000 in Zion for next Pesach.
Hey, straight up.
Nigga praying. Man, look, I watched a video of these heathens doing a Passover sacrifice in Jerusalem yesterday. Bro, I was highly offended. I'm like, look at these scrubs. Like, they don't even look like they even, man, my little nephew looked like he'll whoop them. Like how do we lose this to them? Yeah. You understand? No, I'm talking about they ain't got an ounce of warrior in them, man. Ain't got an ounce of revolution in them. And the only reason they even got a stronghold over there in Israel is because the United States is backing them financially and militarily. That's it. These men are beyond sad. I couldn't even believe it. I was offended like a motherfucker. I'm like, what? Oh my God! Like, how do we lose Jerusalem to these? And we over here in the West, in the streets, raised in warfare. You understand? Even though, you know, a lot of his gang culture and black on black crime, if you want to call it that, do you realize like the warriors of Judah over here in the West for the most part, right? And that war is what we've been bred in. What you talking about?
Yeah.
You got men like, what you gonna go to Israel for, man? They going to war. Nigga, you at war now.
We grew up in it.
You grew right up in it. You desensitized now. You hear about them. Look, but the other day we was up here, we heard gunshots as soon as the bro pulled off the lot. Police flowing out. We all like, damn, what was that? Gunshots.
Just gun. They out shooting. I made Isaiah come sit up here about me. This, you know, we used to it.
I mean, we so desensitized, y'all. We don't even flinch when we hear gunshots. That's how much war we've been at the past 30, 40 years, man. You feel me? I'm talking about just in North America, known with the blood and Crip war, let alone every other war that's going on amongst us. Man, we bred for war. Man, I'm looking at these heathens in Jerusalem like, man, look like you'll slap the fire out one of them, man. All right, come on, let's get
Verse 20.
Yeah.
And brought them to the magistrates, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city. These
men being Jews, this is Paul and Silas, do exceedingly trouble our city. Why? Was they armed? What were they doing that troubled, you understand, the city in which they were in? Remember, Paul just came with some spiritual power and the authority of Messiah and cast a spirit of divination off this woman. And guess what? They could no longer make money off this woman and exploit her. That brought them to the judgment seats and said, that's trouble in our city.
That's right, Lisa Henry. Psychological warfare.
Ooh-wee. Come on now.
It says 21, and teach customs, which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans.
Do y'all hear that? This gospel is not lawful for no heathen to receive. This gospel was anti-Roman, anti-America, right? Anti these other nations, period. Yeah, in the end, remnants of other nations are going to serve our God and have to come up to Jerusalem for the feast and bow down and be as slaves to the Israelites. Yes, you dig? But you see what these Romans are saying right here? These men teach things which are not lawful for us to observe. You understand? Being Romans. So that shows you that the gospel was anti-Roman. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the multitude rose up together against them. And the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them.
Took their clothes off and was like, beat them. That was the judgment that came down on Paul and them because they cast out a spirit of divination off this woman.
Yep, they stripped and beat the Messiah.
Just like Messiah was beat. All right, go ahead.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison.
Into what?
Into prison.
So now we got the courts getting at the money, and now they locked up. And you ain't even thought this is political. Go ahead,
Into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely, who having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison.
Threw them in the hole. They wasn't just locked up. He threw them into the inner prison in the hole. Go ahead.
And made their feet fast in the stocks.
And locked their ankles up. All right, drop there. Go to the next chapter for me. Acts 17, 5-9. Just to show you the same thing that Messiah was charged with. His followers after him was the same thing. Paul was a threat. And matter of fact, if you got the fire stick, look up Paul, the Apostle of Christ. Excellent movie. Yeah. And of course, y'all, they got heathens playing us, but just look past it and just look at how they had to move. You learn where the real Roman candle came from.
Yeah, and Paul kept it gutter, and even though it was heathens, Paul kept it gutter. Let them down in the basket. He was moving the groove with them that deal. All right, we in the book of Acts, chapter 17, one chapter over. We starting at verse 5.
You'll see where the real Roman candles came from while you Negroes out there celebrating the 4th of July and buying Roman candles. The Roman candles were Israelites that followed the Messiah that was set on fire in Rome for a public display.
Yeah, Roman candles.
Roman candle.
Meaning, and it usually took place right at when the evening came down.
Right.
So our burnt bodies lit up the night, because the Romans set us on fire. That's where a Roman candle come from. So while y'all out there popping y'all fireworks, that's what's going on, man.
That's right.
All right, so we in the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 5. But the Jews which believe not, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort.
So in other words, grab them these weren't spiritual men, right? In other words, they employed some little cats, some little hitters off the streets.
Yeah.
You understand? And these are the Jews that believe not what? They didn't believe Messiah was Messiah. These were Pharisees in them. All right. And they were bitter enemies against Paul because he used to be a Pharisee, but now he's following Messiah. So that made him a threat. So they basically hire some mercenaries, should I say. Mercenaries to get at Paul and them. All right, go ahead.
It says, and gathered a company and set all the city on an uproar and assaulted the house of Jason and sought to bring them out to the people. And when they found them not, they drew Jason, a certain brethren of the rulers of the city, crying, these that have turned the world upside down.
These who?
These that have turned the world upside down or come hither also.
You see how powerful this gospel is? They were saying those that have shaken the world to its very foundation with this message of this Messiah who was crucified in Jerusalem under Pontius Pilate. These who have turned the world upside down. They heard too with that same message. This don't sound like what you've been seeing in church on Sunday.
Yeah, it don't.
Because if it was, guess what? Every church would be under attack. Every church would be a threat. Every leader of every church would be a threat. And that ain't what you're seeing. Everybody's politically correct. Everybody's just trying to get along with every damn body instead of teaching what the scripture says. Because if you really was teaching this, you would be referred to as those who are turning the world upside down. All right, go ahead.
Verse 7, whom Jason have received, and these all the contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Yahushua.
Y'all hear that? We were teaching that Caesar is not king. Yahushua is king.
That's treason to them, boy. That's worthy of death, boy.
Yeah, that's worthy of death, like Yaki is saying.
Yeah, you heard what they were saying. It's only one king, and that's Alexander the Great in the Maccabee time. Yeah. There's only one king, and that's Caesar. The bootlicker said that. So to come in and be like, look, we don't know about this king. Forget y'all money, forget y'all system. Judgment is coming. Our king, our true king, the Messiah is here. Boy, they hitting heads for that. They straight called that treason. Look, notice the charge they brought on the Messiah. That once he overthrew the tables and declared that he was king, that's when they like, look, we gotta kill him. Matter, he said he was the son of God. He said he was the king. We gotta take him out. And he overthrowing money. Yeah. He threatened the very Rome that, the very system that was oppressing us, he threatened.
Yep, the very system that's still oppressing us.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing but Rome again. You got a Senate here.
Yeah.
You got a Senate in Rome. You got a two-party political system. Democrats and Republicans, they had the plebeians and patricians.
Yeah.
You got a Capitol Hill where they formed policy, they had Capitol Line Hill.
Mm-hmm.
You got a Highway 66,
mm-hmm.
they had Apion's Way.
Yeah.
You understand? You got your Coliseum sports. You got the same thing going on here.
Football, soccer, all of it.
Y'all, I mean, this is Rome again, too. This is Rome, Egypt, Babylon, all balled up into one mess of confusion.
Ooh, the melting pot.
Yeah.
That great whore, boy.
It's the same exact thing. So if the gospel was against Rome then, it's against Rome now.
Yeah.
You see? So anybody teaching to be all politically correct and teach certain things that make everybody happy and comfortable, they not in the spirit of the Most High, because not one prophet taught like that.
Yeah.
Not one.
I ain't seen one.
If so, none of these men would have been killed.
Yeah.
None of them would have been persecuted.
Yeah. They would have been hired as bootlickers.
Yeah.
Would have been hired. So for Hebrew teachers that's teaching politically correct, you might as well get paid. You might as well get paid by the white man to be bootlicker. You might as well be an agent.
Go join, get you a 501c3, put you a suit on with a little handkerchief up there in the pocket. Get you some cufflinks and some slick bottoms. Throw on that stinking ass Old Spice
and sleep the flock
and fleece the flock. You might as well.
Yeah. You
understand? Because you ain't standing up. If you stand up, and stand on His word, you're gonna be labeled a rebel and a revolutionary, because the spirit of the Most High and this Bible is contrary to the world. You are not given this truth to try to please everybody, man. Yeah. And if that's your spirit, that's not the Holy Spirit.
No,
at all.
No.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 8. And they troubled the people and the rulers of the city when they heard these things. And when they had taken security of Jason and of the others, they let them go.
Go to verse 10 real quick.
Verse 10. And the brethren immediately sent away Shaul and Silas by night.
Y'all got to get up out of here. Y'all got to get up out of here, man. Y'all mess around and caused a riot around here.
That's deep. Unto Berea.
Yeah.
Who coming thither went to the synagogues of the Jews.
See, notice wherever they went, it was already synagogues established.
Yeah. And
that's where they would go to hear the law and the prophets, and then they would come in and teach Messiah in the synagogues out of the law and the prophets. All right. Next, give me Acts 24. Acts 24. Give me start at verse 5 for me. This is Paul on trial. Paul on trial.
Book of Acts chapter 24. I'm gonna start at verse 5, man.
Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get this prayer off first. It's about to be 10 o'clock. Let's get this prayer off first hour in Jerusalem. If you was living in Israel, you be just getting up, getting your work day started. Let's go ahead and get this prayer off in the Hebrew, and then we go into Acts 24, and then we're gonna read about the trial and execution of Messiah, and then we're gonna read it out of the letters of Pontius Pilate. And you're gonna see. You're gonna see. You understand? I pray y'all getting some understanding. And again, the assassination, the political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah. It's what it is, right? And this is the spirit they scared for you to take on. Because once you understand this, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to start loving your people. You're going to start uniting with your people under the teachings of the Messiah. How y'all going to unite with them under the teachings of Messiah? We follow his teachings. That's what it's about. All right? So when y'all face Jerusalem, y'all know how we pray. All right, y'all repeat after me. Abinu.
Abinu.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Yikade.
Yikade.
Shimka.
Shimka.
Tabo.
Tabo.
Malkuteka.
Malkuteka.
Yeyase.
Yeyase.
Ratzonka.
Ratzonka.
Kabbat Shemayim.
Kabbat Shemayim.
Cain.
Cain.
Baaret.
Baaret.
Etlakim.
Etlakim.
Kukenu.
Kukenu.
Tanglanu.
Tainlanu.
Hayon.
Hayo.
Uslaklanu.
Uslaklanu.
All. Kataenu.
Kataenu.
Kamo.
Kamo.
Shel Sokin.
Shel Sokin.
Gam.
Gam.
Anaknu.
Anaknu.
Lakotin.
Lakotin.
Lanu.
Lanu.
Wa'ol.
Wa'ol.
Tabienu.
Tabienu.
Lide.
Lide.
Nisayon.
Nisayo.
Ki.
Ki.
E. Kotzenu.
Kotzenu.
Minhara.
Mimhara.
Kilaka.
Kilaka.
Hamamlaka.
Hamamlaka.
Wahagbura.
Wahagbura.
Wahatifaret.
Wahatifaret.
Laome.
Laome.
Olami.
Olami.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah. In English. Our Father.
Our Father.
In heaven.
In heaven.
Holy is your name.
Holy is your name.
May your kingdom come.
May your kingdom come.
And your will be done.
And your will be done.
On earth.
On earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our sins.
And forgive us our sins.
As we also.
Have
forgiven those.
Have forgiven those.
Who sinned against us.
And
lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us.
From
the evil
one.
For yours is the kingdom.
For yours is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
And ever.
And ever.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty Yah. That's right. And y'all, that's the prayer our revolutionary Messiah taught us how to pray. He said what? They asked him, teach us how to pray. Teach us how to pray. You feel me? And that's how he responded. If you're gonna pray, this is how you're supposed to pray. You feel me? So all praises, all glory, all honor to the Most High. That's right. Praise the mighty Yah. Hosea Bon Israel in the building, sons of light, my brethren, my comrade in the spirit and in the flesh. May the Most High bless you, bro. Yeah, the Roman Empire was the first COINTELPRO. You ain't lying. And yeah, Christians, those Greeks invented naked wrestling. Straight up, man. Utter madness. All right. So next we're going to go to Acts 24. And this is Paul. And look, I just want to show that the Messiah and all those that follow him. Because you be like, well, that was him. We ain't got to go that hard. Then why did Paul and them go that hard? Why did Peter and them go that hard? Why were they threats? When y'all get a chance, Google the death of the 12 disciples. Just Google it. And what you're going to find out is this. Every last one of them met a violent end. You think they met that because they were compromising? You think they met that violent end because they just were, you know what I'm saying, so politically correct and just, even killed? You feel me? Compromising. You think that's why they were murdered the way they were? No, man. Again, if you dealing with anybody, I don't care who it is, it could be a church pastor or somebody that's into Islam or somebody that claim they're Hebrew and they claim they're teaching this thing, man. You feel me? If they are in the spirit of tap dancing, winging answers, and trying to make everybody feel smooth about the message that this Bible is coming with, instead of challenging people. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, you need to hear it straight up.
Yeah.
Right? So you can deal with that. At least you know from that point, you know what? I need to hear that because now I know, you feel me, how I need to maneuver from her. That may offend me when it first come out. That mean get out your feelings, right? And if you in the spirit of, I deal with that part of the Bible, but not that part of the Bible. You don't love the Most High, you love yourself. If you just looking for scriptures that benefit your lust or your own life, you love yourself, not the Most High. Even if you don't understand what the scripture is saying, pray to the Most High and ask him to give you understanding so you can become even more in love with his word. Right? Most High, explain it to me. I don't understand it. You feel me? Give me some understanding on that. Don't you be like, oh no, I don't read that. That's just not for me. I just don't. You love yourself, then you a benefit believer. You feel me? But these men right here were not politically correct. They shot straight and they said things that would have got them killed. And got them killed, actually.
Yeah.
You understand? When y'all watch that party of the apostle of Christ, when y'all watch that boy, Nero pronounced death on Paul by beheading. Right? Whenever, and then threw him right back in the hole and say, whenever Nero get his order, that's when you behead him. Give him 20 lashes, throw him back in the hole. And they had Paul in the ground in jail. Yeah. Yeah, real talk. All right, so let's get it done, man. We at Acts 24. Acts 24, we're going to start at verse 5, and then we're going to get into the arrest, the trial, and execution of the Messiah. And we're going to end it reading the letters of Pontius Pilate written during his governorship of Judea to his friend Seneca. I'm going to read the back of this again. It said, these letters represent the times of the Messiah with some of the principal events of his life from a new viewpoint, that of the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. We read about him in John the 18th chapter, right? History has pictured Pilate as, in some respects, a good governor, anxious to serve his imperial master faithfully, and even so far as possible to conciliate those who were placed in his care. In these letters, Pilate describes the events of his governorship, his impressions, his policy, his difficulties in dealing with the Jews. It seems, writes Pilate, that all Galilee is agog about Jesus. And everyone knows of someone who has heard of someone else who has been cured of some disease. Pilate argues that Jesus is a popular leader who is politically dangerous, a troublesome fellow that must be gotten out of the way, and concludes, Pilate, if he was not a dangerous rebel yesterday, he would have been tomorrow. In spite of this, Pilate has given us a fine picture of Jesus here, written with restraint and feeling unconsciously reverent and absorbingly interesting. Wait till we read about the arrest of Yahushua and his trial and his execution. You're going to be like, whoa, you dig? And really, you get all this out the scripture too. It's just you speed read through stuff and you never slow down and really trip off what's being said. You never look up definitions and you never do what's called extrapolating. How do you think these heathens make good movies? They read the Bible and they pull every fact and detail out of every verse. And then they paint a picture as if they were there. You understand? They put visuals to what they read. You dig? And then they come out with the effects and throw a bomb movie. To be a successful movie producer in Hollywood, you have to know the Bible, not the Quran. Yeah, the Bible. Right? Not the Medunetta. It's the Bible that you must know. You understand? It's just what it is. All right, Acts 24.
All right, we're in the book of Acts, chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, for we have found this man, a pestilent fellow.
They see what they call him, Paul? A pestilent fellow. Come on, Doc.
And a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world.
Wow, and a mover of sedition. We read the definition of sedition earlier, didn't we? Someone who can speak and incite revolution.
Revolt.
Someone who can speak and incite a revolt, right? Someone who can speak and spark the minds of the masses and cause them to unite against their oppressors.
The uproar.
Yeah, sedition. All right, come on now.
And a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes, who also have gone about to profane the temple.
So didn't Messiah get at the temple? Yeah. Right? Notice they called him a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. Why is that? Because the Messiah was from Galilee. He lived or was raised in Galilee, Nazareth. He was born in Bethlehem, but raised in Nazareth. Right? So if you was a follower of him, we were called Nazarenes back in the day. You understand? Not Christianity, not Christians. We were first called that by outsiders, but we were called Nazarenes.
God.
And they called this man a pestilent fellow, a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world. Meaning Paul was all over the world teaching this gospel. And according to the Romans, right? According to the Romans, this gospel, the message of the Messiah, incites sedition. Meaning the people will unite and guess what? Conquer their own flesh and then conquer their enemies. And that's what these heathens feared and these bootlicking Hebrews feared.
Yep.
All right. That's why everybody's against unity. But the Messiah say, if you ain't gathering with me, you scattering. Yep. If you ain't with me, you against me.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Let's get
it says, who also have gone about to profane the temple, who we took and would have judged according to our law.
We would have judged them according to our law. Right? Remember, Pilate told the Sanhedrin them, judge them according to your law. Oh, we can't because the high holy day coming in. Okay. Go ahead.
But the chief captain Lysias came upon us, and a great violence took him away out of our hands.
Come on.
Commanding his accusers to come unto thee by examining of whom thyself mayest take knowledge of all things, whereof we accuse him. And the Jews also assented, saying that these things were so. Then Shaul, after the governor had beckoned unto him to speak, answered, for as much as I know that thou have been of many years a judge unto this nation, I do more cheerfully answer for myself, because that thou mayest understand that there are yet but 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem for to worship.
Now, men were their own lawyers back then. You had to defend yourself in court. Paul is in court
defending
himself.
It's
you feel me? These Negro be like, you can't speak for yourself in court. You a sovereign.
Well, you your own lawyer with you.
All these brothers had to be their own lawyers. They had to know law.
What say of ye?
You didn't have to go hire no lawyer to represent yourself. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, man, a lot of these men are playing church out here.
And it makes sense, though, especially according to the Sanhedrin, because you was going into the temples, learning the law in the synagogues anyway, right? So, like, say if you did get charged on a charge violating scripture, if you trained up in your law, why not speak for yourself if you trained up in Torah?
Exactly.
Why need somebody else speaking for me?
Somebody else speaking for me. I'm trained up in Torah. I don't need you to speak for me.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 12. And they neither found me in the temple disputing with any man,
right?
Neither raising up the people, neither in the synagogues, nor in the city.
Like I'm not no mover of sedition.
Yeah.
It only been 12 days since I've left Jerusalem. Not a mover of sedition. They ain't found me doing nothing. You understand? Come on, Hebrew, let's get it.
Neither can they prove the things whereof they accuse me.
They have no evidence. This is court. All right, go ahead.
But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the Elohim of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets.
This good old Paul, who you so-called Christians use to say you can violate law. He just said what? I believe all things written in the law and the prophets. I just left Jerusalem 12 days ago. I wasn't in the temple arguing with nobody. I wasn't raising up the people or organizing the people to revolt against Rome. I wasn't even doing that. And they can't prove it. But this I confess. This is my testimony, right? Go ahead.
It says, and I gave hope toward Elohim.
And have hope, right?
And I have hope toward Elohim, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust.
Now, that's a doctrine they was afraid of, because remember, they never found the body.
Yeah.
Right? When you watch that AD 70 on Netflix, that was the main problem after the crucifixion of Messiah. Caiaphas was like, where the body at?
Yeah.
You know, his one soldier was like, well, look, man, it looks something like him. There's a dead body over there. It looks something like him from a distance. He like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't care if it look like him. When you done, where the body at?
Yeah.
If we ain't got no body, we got a problem.
He was so pissed that prophecy would come true. He straight when old boy bought his body to go put him in his sepulcher. He like, if y'all don't go get that body, we need to burn him. Like we need to burn him or something.
And then they like guard the tomb, man, because they mess around and steal the body and try to play this whole resurrection thing.
And that's gonna be further of a revolt.
Yeah.
Straight political.
Yeah, straight political. Because if the resurrection didn't happen, remember he resurrected Lazarus, right? Yeah. Now, if we didn't put him to death and we seen him die, and then sepulcher has been loose and there ain't no body, and bro, they was searching Jerusalem, every corner, all of it. I'm talking about arresting people. Where the body at?
Messiah went into the heavens.
You feel me? Where the body? We ain't got no body. We got a problem around here, man. Yeah. So Paul was teaching resurrection. You feel me? Resurrection. And what was even more powerful, because that was also a reason why the Pharisees held counsel to destroy Messiah. Not just because he got it the money changer, because he resurrected Lazarus.
Yeah.
And many Israelites started believing in him.
Yeah.
And guess what? They didn't have the influence over them people anymore.
Because
they
he
held
took death off the table.
Yeah.
If I'm not afraid to die. Look, F your money, F your laws, F you beat me, F you crucify me, because I know for a fact all I gotta do is keep the law and follow the Messiah, and he gonna raise me from the dead anyway at the last trump.
Yeah.
So hey.
Yeah. So there's no reason for a believer to even be afraid of death. Like, what do you mean death? That's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You feel me? So now you don't have to look. And if a man is not afraid of death, you can't control him.
God.
See? Purely revolutionary and purely political.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
Verse 16. And herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void of offense toward Elohim and toward man. Now, after many years, I come to bring alms to my nation and offerings. Whereupon certain Jews from Asia.
Certain Jews from where?
Asia.
Wow. Strange Jews. Right up here in this Pontius Pilate. Foreign Jews.
Yeah.
Asiatic Jews.
Yeah.
Right, who were foreign.
Ooh.
Right, who were considered strangers, who would come to Jerusalem and temporarily stay with their brethren for the feast days.
Let me see your pen real quick. I marked that real.
Yeah. And even Pontius Pilate knew the difference between Judean brothers that were homeborn in the land and Jews who would come back from different parts like Greece, Asia, and North Africa to keep the feast. Like they spoke different languages and all that, but one thing they had in common, no matter what customs they had and they disagreed about, or what customs they had different, they all came back to Jerusalem for the Most High set apart appointments. Right? All right, go ahead.
It says, whereupon certain Jews from Asia found me purified in the temple, neither with multitude nor with tumult. It says, who ought to have been here before thee and object, if they had aught against me. Or else let these same here say, if they have found any evil doing in me while I stood before the council.
21.
Except it be for this one voice that I cry standing among them, touching the resurrection of the dead.
Ooh.
I am called and questioned by you this day.
That's right. He like, if anything, you want to know what I've been teaching resurrection. I believe everything written in the law and the prophets, resurrection is in there. Daniel 12, 1 through 2, 1 through 4, Psalm 16, 8 through 10. You feel me? And many other scriptures. Resurrection is in the law and the prophets as well. All right, drop there. Let's go to John 18. Start at verse 1. We're about to get into the trial and execution of Messiah. You'll see us doing our high holy day Passover, the preparation for unleavened bread. You dig? And we wanted to go over this because that's what's coming up within a few days. You understand? And we want to keep the spirit rolling. But understand, and consider that had we been living 2,000 years ago, we'd be days out from the execution of our master. No, this wasn't about no funnies and, you know what I'm saying, playing around. This was a serious time for us, man. Very serious.
Hey,
you understand? And you ought to take it serious. Go ahead.
Shaul straight said, look, certain Asiatic Jews see me. If they had something to say against me, they'd be here.
They should have been here.
They should have been here.
Yeah.
But notice he said Asiatic. Why would he say that? Why he put them in a location of them that they own, but he called them Jews. Right?
Yeah. And then Acts the 2nd chapter.
What?
And where Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
Out of every nation.
That don't mean Jews were there and then devout heathens were there out of every nation. That don't mean that.
Don't I?
You feel me? And men have been winging that scripture for so long. You're like, bro, that don't mean that. What are you talking about? Even in Pontius Pilate knew the difference.
Yeah.
What we saying 2,000 years ago, Pontius Pilate knew that there were foreign Jews.
That's deep, Bob.
Houston, we got a problem.
That's going to change a lot of people's whole entire doctrine.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
All right, we in the book of John, chapter 18, verse 1.
Let's get into it.
When Yahushua had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Cedron, where was the garden unto the which he entered, and his disciples. And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place. For Yahushua oft times resort thither with his disciples.
That's the Garden of Gethsemane, and I pray I'm allowed to go there when I get over to Israel. That's one of my first. I need to go to the garden where he was at,
just to meditate.
Yeah, I need to be in there.
Yeah,
right in there, boy. All right, go ahead.
Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons.
You see that? So he going to right there that Judas then having received a band of men or an army of men, right? And officers from the chief priests and Pharisees. You understand? So we got officers. That's Shalom. We got officers. Right, officers were sent from the chief priests and all of them to go arrest Yahushua. That's what happened. Right, Judas received it. You dig? And he came. Judas received it, and he came with his band of officers to lock up the Messiah. Yeah. No. The camera recorded.
Yeah, just leave everything. Yeah,
we all good.
Just sit down.
No. That ain't on there. We cool. All right, read it again, Hebrew.
All right, verse 3. Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons.
Dang. Come on.
Yahushua therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Who seek ye?
You see how the Messiah, he wasn't afraid. Came right. Who you looking for? Right? You police come knocking at that door. You be, all scared and ducking and shh, be quiet. No, he went forth and met them. Who you looking for?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Then answered him Yahushua the Nazareth. Yahushua said unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backwards and fell to the ground.
See how powerful he is? His words, right? I am he. Everybody hit the deck. Bow!
Yeah, that's hard.
Went backwards and fell to the ground. Who got the real power? Right?
He let them arrest him.
I'm talking about exactly. I let y'all arrest me. You dig? And trip off that, man. Judah's gonna have that. You dig? When we in Jerusalem bank, we're gonna have the power to speak and our enemies flee. You see? The Messiah doing it. Greater things you gonna do.
Yeah.
That's why they fear us. They fear us being where we supposed to be on the Most High set apart appointments, praying before the Most High. Because our prayers are even more powerful than theirs. You dig? Messiah speak, they all hit the deck. Bow! All right, go ahead.
Verse 7. Then asked he them again, Who seek ye? And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way.
You see how solid the Messiah is? Let my people go. Let my friends go.
Yeah.
You looking for me, here I am. Let my disciples lead.
That's hard.
Right? Not like you today. You get caught and like, come on, dog. They caught us. Nah, that ain't how the Messiah. Messiah was a straight up revolutionary, man. Straight revolutionary. And wasn't scared to get arrested.
Yeah.
Who you looking for? As soon as he spoke, they all hit the ground. Bow! Get back up, straighten their stuff up. Who you looking for? They say it again. Well, look, I told you I'm he. And since you looking for me, let these go. That's solid, man. We need more Yahushas out here. Man would have never lied to you. Never stole from you.
Yeah.
Right? Never got at your woman. Never slandered you. Never bear false witness. You feel me? Resurrected the dead, healed diseases, fed the people. You dig? And showed what the real power was, man. Unlocked the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Shows you what it was. You understand? What problem you got? Come on.
9. That the same might be fulfilled, which he spake. Of them which thou gavest me, I lost none. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and smote the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant name was Malchus.
These were Israelites that came to lock up Messiah. A lot of times, brothers thought, the Romans came and locked them up. No, the Israelites, officers from the temple, Sanhedrin. We read earlier, they put a warrant out on them. You understand? They had a secret, a closed door meeting or closed door court session, indicted them, put a warrant out. You dig? Now they arresting them. You see what I'm saying? So when he get arrested, his right hand man Peter, and that show you Peter was strapped. What he doing with a sword? And it shows you he was a skilled warrior. Because anytime you can take a sword and aim, you dig, and just cut somebody's ear off, you dig, that means you cold with that sword. You cold. Because if you don't got them skills, you took the corner of his head and his face off. But you cut his ear off. Bow. to pull a sword and aim that with precision and hit somebody right here and take it off like that. That's skill. So the Messiah had men around him that were armed, with swords. Luke 22 and 36. Hold your spot. Read that for me real quick. Luke 22 and 36. You right there in verse 11, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me show you. Messiah gave him a commandment to go buy some swords. That's why Peter had a sword. This whole thing is revolution, man. May the Most High bless you, Nehemiah.
Luke 22 and 36. It says, then said he unto them, but now he that have a purse, let him take it. And likewise his scrip. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garments and buy one.
They let him sell his garments and buy one. With the Messiah giving the order to his disciples to buy a sword for.
Hey, we going to war.
Right? What is all that? And you like, oh, no man of God will have weapons. Then why his disciples got swords?
Yeah.
Why Peter even had a sword to cut off dude? Yeah, he had warriors around him, man. We come from a long line of warriors, man. But your war gotta be for a righteous cause, man. How about it be for the cause of Mashiach?
Yeah.
And the redemption of Zion. How about that? All right, go ahead.
You can keep reading back in there.
We're back in John 18,
verse 11.
Yeah.
Then said Yahushua unto Peter, put thy sword into thy sheath. The cup which my father hath given me, shall I not drink it?
He like, look, man, I gotta fulfill prophecy. Put your sword up, man. I'm saying, man, put your strap up. What you doing? I gotta drink this cup. Right? A sword ain't gonna get us up out of this situation. You stockpiling weapons ain't gonna get Zion out of this situation, even though they war strapped. You understand? Because anytime you're gonna have to defend yourself. Look, spiritual war turns physical. You understand? If a legion possessed heathen walk through these doors right here and try to get at our children and our babies, we gotta lay them down. What you mean?
He getting shot the F down.
Yeah, we have to lay him down for that. You feel me? So spiritual war turns physical. The fact that he told them to go buy a sword, and the fact that Peter had a sword, you understand, proves that they were armed men. Don't nobody want to deal with that. All right, come on, Hebrew.
It says, then the band and the captain and officers of the Jews took Yahushua and bound him and led him led him away to Ananias first, for he was father-in-law to Caiaphas, which was the high priest that same year.
So they took him to the high priest father-in-law first. You understand? When y'all watch that AD 70 on Netflix, you're gonna see all these characters. You're gonna be like, oh, that's how all that played out, man. Dang. And in the Bible, AD 70 on Netflix, John the Revelator is a brother. Philip is a brother. Mary Magdalene is a sister. There's a couple more brothers and sisters in there. I'm talking about straight disciples that roll with him. Yeah, of course, they got the Messiah as a Caucasoid.
They had John looking kind of fat, like he wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm like, you ain't been eating nothing. Hey, it went hard though. Yeah, that deal go hard, and it's very detailed, y'all, and it's super long.
Yeah, it is. And then I like the part where the Messiah resurrected. That angel came down. Boy, nigga, you seen? Well, I'm talking about the wick. Nigga, pulled his sword.
The brick broke.
Oh man, pull this sword out, boy. Everybody got shook. Yeah. Them Romans and them Hebrews that was guarding that tomb. Everybody got shook.
Yeah, the high priest called the Satarian. He like, look, where y'all got him? Like, he in that sepulcher, go guard that sepulcher. I don't need nothing moving. And that deal go hard.
Yeah, man. It's tight. And then behind it, because they couldn't find the body, Pilate started putting his Roman soldiers to death.
Yeah.
You feel me? And they had, like, Cornelius was like one of his top Cornelius was like one of his top little centurions, man. I was like, oh, okay. They saying Cornelius was there. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
It says, now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedient that one man should die for the people. And Simon Peter followed Yahushua, and so did another disciple. That disciple was known unto the high priest, and went in with Yahushua in the palace of the high priest. But Peter stood at the door without. Then went out that other disciple, which was known unto the high priest, and spake unto her that kept the door, and brought in Peter. Then said the damsel that kept the door unto Peter, art not thou also one of this man's disciples?
Now remember, Messiah had already told him, like, even though Peter was like, look, I'm dying with you, just ride or die. Even though Peter just cut somebody's ear off, you know, Peter's heart was in the right place. It did. But the Messiah already knew, like, hey, how this about to turn up, you gonna get afraid too.
Yeah.
It's about to turn up. You know what I'm saying? You gonna deny me 3 times.
Peter smelled that death and was like, nah,
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Big, but after the Messiah resurrected, he asked him 3 times, do you love me, Peter? He said, Lord, you know I love you. Feed my flock then. Ask him again, do you love me? Lord, you know I love you. Well, feed my flock then. Feed my sheep. Ask him again, do you love me? Peter cut like, oh, man. Because he told him that he was going to deny him 3 times. So then the Messiah, after he resurrected in John, the 21st chapter, asked him 3 times, do you love me? Yeah. He was like, Lord, you know I love you. Then you better feed my sheep then. Feed my sheep. All right, go ahead.
He said, I am not. And the servants of the officer stood there, who had made a fire of coals, for it was cold, and they warmed themselves. And Peter stood with them and warmed himself. That's crazy, boy. Then the high priest then asked Yahushua of his disciples and of his doctrine. Yahushua answered him, I spake openly to the world.
I spake openly to who?
The world.
But that lets you know the world is Israel. Because who else were you speaking openly to?
Yeah.
You see, for God so loved the world that he gave his own. What world did God love that he sent his only begotten son to? Yeah. Y'all really stop winging John 3:16 as well, man. Like this, like it's a lack of study.
Isaiah 45:17.
The world don't mean the planet.
Yeah.
Or the earth. It means a certain society.
Yeah.
Isaiah 45:17. Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. You should not be confounded. World without end. Israel is the world. Right. So when Yahushua said, I speak openly to the world, where was he speaking at? Yeah. At all the synagogues in Israel and in the temple in Jerusalem.
Yeah. Speaking of Israelites.
Yeah, he wasn't in Russia speaking. Nah. Right. He wasn't in the Philippines. He wasn't in Nova Scotia. He wasn't in Canada. He was in Israel. That's the world he was talking about. Yeah. All right, come on, let's get it.
It says, I spake openly to the world. Yeah. I ever taught in the synagogues and in the temple. Brother, the Jews always resort.
Oh, see, so we look, the temple was the main spot. No matter what you was talking about, whether it was money, whether it was education, whether it was healing, you understand? Whatever you talking about, it was going down the temple. The priests lived in the temple, in the priest quarters and all that. And the discourses between different parties of Israelites went on right there. God. And every day there were hundreds, if not thousands of Israelites at the temple. Because that's where you went. All right, go ahead.
And in secret have I said nothing. Why axest thou me? Ask them which heard me. What I have said unto them. Behold, they know what I said.
They know what so he defended himself again in court, locked up, drew before the judgment seats after they held a closed door court session on him. Yeah, right. Counsel with the Sanhedrin.
Wicked counsel.
They indicted him. A wicked counsel. We know about those.
Yes,
too.
We do.
They indicted him. They put a warrant out. He's arrested. Now he's in court. I asked them, they know what I said. Do it sound like he in there? Oh, I like he cowering down. I spoke openly to the world in the temple where all y'all be at. I asked them, they know. Messiah was revolutionary, man. Yeah. Come on, let's get it.
And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers which stood by struck Yahushua with the palm of his hand, saying, Answereth thou the high priest so?
Man, can you imagine in that day, boy?
Hit the most
boy, you don't hit
the most high only begotten.
And that come back, boy, on judgment day. Well, let me run that back. You the joker that slapped me?
It's gonna be a problem, Mark.
It might be over for thou. Boy, you slapped up the Mashiach, boy.
That's great.
Oh, boy, I would be beyond afraid. Boy, you done slapped the Messiah across the jaw. Yeah. And that get brought back up on the day of judgment on vow. Yeah. Oh my God, bro. It may not be well for that Hebrew in that day, boy. All right, come on.
Verse 23. Yeah. Yahushua answered him, if I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. But if well, why smitest thou me?
Yeah, I speak evil, bear witness of the evil. What you smacking me for? Come on,
and Annas now Annas had sent him bound unto Caiaphas, the high priest.
So now the father-in-law of the high priest sends him to the high priest. Now, if you know anything about the little small study of the Bible, it show you that Messiah is the real high priest. You understand? So you got these men in these positions claiming that they the high priest, and it's Mashiach that's the high priest after the order of Melchizedek. It's Messiah. All right. That was just ironic to me. Like, wow. Like, how is this the high priest? Boy, you know, if you know who he is, you realize that your seat has been taken. Time is up for you. All right, come on, Doc, let's get it.
Verse 25. And Simon Peter stood and warmed himself. They said, therefore, unto him, art not thou also one of his disciples? He denied it and said, I am not. One of the servants of the high priest, being his kinsman, who ear Peter cut off, said, did not I see thee in the garden with him?
They trip off that. Like the very man that cut his ear off, right? Or who had his ear cut off by Peter, looked at him and like, didn't I see you with him?
I know.
Remember, they locked him up at night. Now it's starting to dawn toward the morning and all that now. You know what I'm saying? And that show you all these Israelite brothers look similar. They looked alike. So, well, hold on, man. You look familiar. Right? Why didn't the cat that got his ear cut off say, man, that's you. You was with him.
Like, I know that was you.
He said, hold on, didn't I see you? What? Yeah. Yeah. All right, come on.
It says, Peter then denied again, and immediately the cock crew.
Yeah. Finished. All right, come on, Hebrew.
It says, then laid they Yahushua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Pesach.
The Passover. You see that? So they led him to the judgment hall, meaning, all right, he didn't have court, right? Now we about to bring him before Pilate's judgment seat, the Romans. This is how you know it's political. You feel me? Because if it just was simply Israelite matter, why are y'all delivering him over to Pilate?
Yeah,
the Roman.
Pilate called for him.
You see? Why are y'all delivering him here? What's the problem? And then y'all gonna come up with the Passover that y'all won't be defiled. Y'all just locked up the Son of the living God. What do you mean? And the one Negro slapped him across the face.
Yeah,
and you got the nerve to claim like, oh, well, we don't want to pass judgment because the Passover is coming up.
Yeah.
In other words, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They had to prep. You understand? By then, we into day 14 already.
Right.
Right. By the eve of the 14th day, all the lambs had to been killed and roasted and ready for Passover, going into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We in day 14 now. We in his trial and about to be his execution. Right. By the 9th hour, the 14th day, he had already expired. They pulled him off the sepulchre. Put him off the cross or the execution stake and laid him in a sepulchre that nobody had ever laid before. You feel me? This is hours before he get executed. And this is on the 14th of Abib. The evening of Abib is when Passover kick off. By the time the sun down, we into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's why they said we don't want to get defiled because the Feast of Unleavened Bread is coming in. All right. Or a Sabbath. All right, go ahead.
They answered and said unto him, if he were not a malefactor, a malefactor, we would not have delivered him unto
Can you look that up? Look that up for me, Hebrew. Malefactor. Malefactor. If he was not a malefactor, what that mean? It's serious, man. And we want to stay in the spirit of Passover to let people know how serious this thing is, right? If you realize 2,000 years ago, we would be hours out from his execution. Then anything you got a problem with within your own personal life, man, that takes a backseat to this.
Straight up.
We're supposed to be focused. Like, man, hold on. The Messiah was murdered, assassinated, executed. You feel me? What we argue about? What do we got going on? That this is not on our mind here. You see? What does it say?
Strong's G 2555. Karkapoyas. Karkapoyas.
It says Karkapoyas, which is G2555. It says an evildoer.
What?
An evildoer.
They told Pilate if he was not an evildoer, we wouldn't have delivered him to you. What did he do that was evil?
A criminal.
What?
A criminal.
What law did he break?
Boy, it's deep. That day of judgment gonna be heavy for them.
A criminal, a troublemaker,
a bad doer,
a bad doer. We wouldn't have delivered you, and we wouldn't have delivered him to you, Mr. Roman, had he not been a criminal. What crime? What law was violated?
He violated their law.
All right, come on, now let's get it.
All right, it says, verse 31.
That's right, Jose. He spoke against the political leaders.
Yeah, violated their law. Then said Pilate unto them, take ye him and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, it is not lawful for us to put any man to death.
This thing done went too far. Y'all talking about murdering him? Why? What's the problem? And again, y'all, murder is a byproduct of hatred.
Yeah.
You dig? Had the brothers just loved one another, it would have never went down to this. Now we understand prophecy had to be fulfilled, but understand the emotion of man that was involved here. You understand? Understand the strings of prophecy being pulled and how men were hating one another. Right? These men hated Messiah. Right? Had they not hated him, he would have never been brought before the judgment seats. They would have never been having holding councils to kill him. They would have never indicted him. They would have never put a warrant out for him, and they never would have arrested him. That's why it's important for Israel to love one another. You feel me? Because you look up and be handing your brother over to the damn heathen. You see? We need to learn that, man, because our Messiah was assassinated because Israel didn't love one another, man. And again, y'all don't get simple. We all know prophecy had to be fulfilled. You understand? But the same thing go on today. Same thing going on today. Your people will sell you out and hand you over to the white man. You feel me? Because you don't love one another. All right, go ahead, let's get it.
Verse 32. That the saying of Yahushua might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again, and called Yahushua, and said unto him, art thou the king of the Jews? Yahushua answered him, sayest thou these things of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me?
You asking me because you want to know, or you ask me because somebody told you? You see, the Messiah was shooting straight, bro, even in judgment. Yeah. This man about to put him to death. You asking me because you want to know, or you asking me because that's what you heard? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, this man is beyond the problem because he ain't even afraid of death, man. All right, go ahead, let's get it.
Yahushua answered, saying, sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me? Pilate answered, am I a Jew?
No.
Thy own nation and the chief priest had delivered thee unto me. What have thou done?
He's like, look, I'm not a Jew. Am I a Jew? Your own nation delivered you to me. You see? And that's that spirit we got to get the hell about this nation, man. We got to get that about the nation, the spirit of hating your brothers and hating your sisters, man. That's why he say, love your enemies. It was about us. Because until we do that, we can never heal. The enemies are those of your own nation. Love those that hate you. Pray for those that despitefully use you, and bless those that curse you. He was talking about how we supposed to deal with each other. You understand? Until we get into that spirit, we will never heal as a nation, and we'll never take our rightful place in this earth. Your own nation delivered you up. Now, trip off all our leaders that were a threat and that was taken out. You feel me? Like their own people around them sold them out. Trip off the assassination of Fred Hampton. He wasn't but 20 years old. And it was a bootlicking Negro that was reporting to the FBI because he was on probation. Reporting to the FBI on where Fred Hampton was. Them heathens came in that hotel, boy.
Shot it up.
Man, shot from the ceiling through the floor and from every wall in that deal.
Yeah.
That man was murdered in the bed next to his pregnant wife, Fred Hampton Sr. Fred Hampton was only 20 years old. Yeah. Died in 1969, man. Yeah. 20 years old, but because he had a mouth that could unite the people, he was feared.
Yep,
and they say,
right.
Take him out.
Oh, Jose, over 1,000 rounds.
Yeah, take him out.
And bragged on him once they confirmed the kill. Bragged on it.
See, and they call that sedition. When you got the ability to speak and spark the minds of the people to unite, first to conquer that flesh and then conquer their enemies. You can't conquer the Romans if you ain't conquered your sin. You got to conquer flesh first. That's what Yahushua came to show us. Once we do that, we can take our enemies down. That's what they were afraid of. Like, whoa. Now we read this Pontius Pilate, you're going to see. Everybody going like, man, look, Messiah referred to as a revolutionary radical in her. Now it makes sense now that we reading this in the Bible right here. You understand? It makes sense once you start reading things or historical pieces too to add with the Bible. Like, oh, that's why that was done. Revolutionary. And if you're not gathering, you are scattering. If you ain't with Messiah, you against him. All right, go ahead, Doc. Let's get it.
Yeah, Yahweh shall answer, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight?
You hear that? If this was my kingdom, my servants would be banging around here. What you mean? If this was my kingdom, my servants would be fighting. Oh, so you said the assassination, the political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah. He told Pilate, this Roman, right to his face, if this was my kingdom, my servants would be banging. Come on, Doc.
That I should not be delivered to the Jews.
The Jews are the Pharisees, right? Those that handed them over. It would have been civil war, in other words. Them non-Messianics would have been getting put to the sword if this was Yahushua kingdom. Luke 19 and 27. Let's read that. Hold your spot. Let's read that real quick. Then we'll read that verse again. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. Luke 19, 27.
Luke 19, 27.
Yeah.
And he said, these things which are impossible with man.
Luke 19, 27.
Oh, you shall right out. Luke 19 and 27. It says, but thus my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
That's the Messiah. My enemies that don't want me to reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. Any of you non-Messianics is listening, take notes. It's time for you brothers to repent and bow your neck in subjection to the Son of the living power, man. Because he said to Pilate, this was my kingdom, my servants would be fighting. That I would even got arrested if this was my kingdom. Wouldn't have been none of that. Wouldn't have been none of that. You showing up and locking me up had this been my kingdom. Yeah. All right, come on, Doc, let's get it.
All right, we back in John 18, verse 36. And Yahweh shall answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight.
That's right.
That I should not be delivered to the Jews.
Come on.
But now is my kingdom not from him. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then?
In other words, are you a king then? Like, what's going on? Are you a king? Come on.
Yahweh shall answer, thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born.
To this what?
To this end was I born.
I was born king. I was born for this. This is my purpose. To this end was I born. Come on,
and from this cause came I into the world.
Oh,
yeah, that's hard.
Oh, and for this cause I came into the world. Come on,
that I should bear witness unto the truth.
Right.
Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice.
Flat out. Everyone is of the truth heareth Yahweh's voice, and you are his sheep.
I bet he felt that in his chest, though. Pontius Pilate. I bet he was like, dang.
Yeah, and he had to. You know why? Because remember when he spoke earlier, all the officers of them hit the ground.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's what they fear. They fear that we have the ability to speak and our enemies flee. And we actually do have that. We read about Judah and them in the book of Joshua.
Yeah.
Judah boy used to screech so loud, and all the women in Egypt miscarried.
Yeah. Straight up.
That's how powerful we are.
Yeah.
You understand? That's what's coming back. Better get ready. All right, come on, Hebrew, let's get it.
Pilate said unto him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews and said unto them, I find him no fault at all.
I find in him no fault. What's the problem? All right, come on, Hebrew.
But ye have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover. Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Then cried they all again, saying, not this man, but Barnabas.
Barabbas.
But Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber.
Not sure about that. The ones that locked Messiah up rather have a thief released than the Son of the living God, man. And look, remember they held a council and they all admitted, man, this man doeth many miracles. What we gonna do about this? So you know that this man getting down. You know the world ain't never seen nothing like this. Even though prophets in the Old Testament did miracles, but not on this level. Not on this level. Right? That's why this man was a threat, because he had the ability to unite the minds of the people, you understand, to first conquer themselves and then what? Conquer their enemies. You feel me? And because it was hatred and not brotherly love, he was arrested. He was indicted, right? He was sent to trial and eventually murdered, assassinated. All praise to Yahweh, he resurrected after 3
Lord.
days and 3 nights. You feel me? And that's all I hope will follow him. But now you're getting the true character of Hamashiach, man. Not this so-called white boy Jesus you grew up listening to or looking at your whole life. Right? And even when he's speaking in movies, he don't even sound convincing. He don't even sound convincing. What we just read him saying to Pilate, you can tell that was a brother. You asking me because you want to know, you ask me because that's what you heard. You say I'm a king, yeah, that's what, look, for this purpose was I born. Dang, what's up with your kingdom? If this was my kingdom, my servants would be fighting. That ain't no heathen. That ain't nobody that's a pacifist trying to, you feel me? This is a straight revolutionary right here. What the heathens fear. All right, let's get to John 19.
John 19.
Mm-hmm.
Then Pilate therefore took Yahushua and scourged him.
Mm-hmm.
And the soldiers planted a crown of thorns and put it on his head.
Mm.
And they put on him a purple robe and said, Hail, King of the Jews. And they smote him with their hands.
Look at that. Look at that. So now the Romans slapping him up. You know, they mocking him. Hail, King of the Jews. All right. Come on now.
Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto them, Behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him. Then came Yahushua forth, wearing a crown of thorns and a purple robe. And Pilate said unto them, Behold the man. When the chief priests therefore and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, Take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him.
You crucify him. Y'all trying to get me to do it for. Why y'all don't do it? And the only excuse they're gonna come up with, oh, well, you know, we got the holy day, bro. And that's why it says in Corinthians about you can't keep the holy day with malice on your heart.
Yeah.
They tripping off the holy day, but y'all got all malice. Y'all got hatred in y'all mind because y'all yelling to murder this man right here who ain't violated at all.
Y'all already defiled.
Already defiled.
By mindset. The Jews answered him, We have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was the more afraid, and went again unto the judgment hall, and said unto Yahushua, Whence art thou? But Yahushua gave him no
He
answer.
asked him, who are you? You feel me? Like we was talking this king stuff and all that at first. Then he asked, well, who are you? They like, well, look, he said he was the Son of God. And that means he supposed to die. But Psalm 82 say ye are gods. You see what I'm saying? And children of the Most High. You are a son of God.
Yeah, it struck Pilate too. He said he was so afraid.
Man, when he said that, Pilate became afraid. Like, hold on.
Let me go holler here one more
Let
time.
me go on back in here before I render my judgment. Who are you?
Yeah.
You dig? Messiah just looking, don't even answer. Sometimes you got to be like that when everybody accusing you or whatever. Sometimes you got to go on quiet mode and be like, I ain't even addressing that. I'm good. Whatever. You dig? You went quiet on him. That's what the scripture in Isaiah 53 say. He didn't open his mouth. In other words, when he was in judgment, he only had a few words, man. He wasn't all, just trying to throw himself at the mercy of the court or, trying to overtalk him, man. Look, this is what it is. Who are you? I'm not even answering that. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Then said Pilate unto him, Speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee and have power to release thee? Yahushua answered, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were giving thee from above.
Whoa.
Therefore, he that delivered me unto thee have the greater sin.
That's why us as a nation were destroyed. You feel me? All hell was poured out on Jerusalem because of our leaders. You see that? He say, look, you ain't got no power. Power you got is what my father ordained. Ask Nebuchadnezzar. Most High sent him to the field and gave him the spirit of a yeti for 7 years. Made him eat grass.
Turned his ass retarded.
Made him retarded. Ask Pharaoh. Only power you got is what my father ordained. Yeah. Therefore, he that delivered me to you, he got the greater sin.
Yeah.
Huh? You know what I'm saying? You men turned on the Mashiach, man. You handed over the Son of the living God with a wicked mindset and got the nerve to say you about to keep the Passover.
Yeah.
That's why if your spirit ain't right, don't show up at Passover, man. Don't show up. You understand? Because you mess around, eat damnation into yourself.
Yeah. Boy,
real talk, man. All right, come on, Doc.
Yahushua answered, verse 12, and from thenceforth Pilate sought to release him. From this forth,
Look at Pilate trying to get up out of
He's
this.
like, I don't even want my hands
Man,
have
I don't
nothing
even
to
want
do
nothing
with this.
man.
Meaning he felt that spirit, man, the whole
Yeah.
time Mashiach was talking.
Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with this. This is an Israelite matter.
Yeah.
This is an Israelite matter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him go. Go ahead.
But the Jews cried out, saying, if thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend.
Oh man.
They put that on him.
Wow.
Whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar.
You see, these non-messianics are actually sellouts.
Yeah.
They gonna bring the white man into the play.
They basically told him, we're gonna tell Caesar.
We're gonna tell Caesar on you.
Straight up. That's deep, boy.
Ain't that something, boy?
That's deep.
You see how much hatred his own people had?
That's
for him?
deep.
The leaders of our people, because many Israelites believe, the common
Yeah.
Israelites love Messiah. You understand? But the ones that were in power and authority, they hated him so much they told Pilate, we gonna tell Caesar on you if you let him go.
We're gonna call the heathen on you.
Wow.
We're gonna call the heathen on the heathen if you let
Wow.
this innocent man go. That's crazy.
Wow.
When
Man.
Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Yahushua forth and sat down in the judgment seat in the place that is called the pavement, but in Hebrew, Gabbatha.
Mhm.
And it was the preparation of the Pesach.
See, remember I said the class a couple of days ago, right? Preparation for Passover. That's what the 14th day is all about.
Yeah, the prep.
Between evening to evening.
Yeah.
You got between the end of the 13th day and the end of the 14th day to kill the lamb, drain the blood, and roast it and have it prepped for the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Yeah.
That's the day of preparation.
Whole 24 hours.
Yeah, Passover is preparation.
Yeah.
You understand? And for unleavened bread.
Yeah.
And that's why by the time we feast Friday night, starting Thursday night, we're gonna start cooking.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We're gonna start cooking the lamb Thursday night. You feel me? All the lamb that we got to cook for our out of town guests and all that the grill's gonna be fired up Thursday night. You feel me? All the way, so that way everything is prepared by the time we get to Friday evening.
Because it's going over into the Feast of
That's the
Unleavened Bread.
preparation.
So
And then that's going
preparation.
Passover is preparation for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which
Makes
is 7
sense,
days.
Makes sense.
So it was preparation. It wasn't Friday prep day for the weekly Sabbath.
Yeah.
It was preparation for unleavened bread. Y'all highlight John 19 and 14.
Con.
That's how we know he's put to death on the 14th day. That's how we know the last meal he ate literally was his last meal, but it was the beginning of the 14th day.
Yeah.
Then he got arrested.
Yeah.
Then he got brought to Caiaphas and them. Then he got brought to Pilate, and it was early in the morning.
Yep. And he was our preparation.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
Makes sense once you start lining everything up.
Con.
All right, go ahead, bro.
And about the 6th hour.
Hold on. So who out?
The 6th hour.
All right. So that's one of the hours that we pray.
Yeah.
6 hours between 11 a.m. and noon. Right? You count back to that. That's between 3 a.m. in the morning over here and 4 a.m. No one of the hours we pray. 6th hour. All right. So now we know this is the 14th day, roughly around noon. All right. Now we know where he at. All right. By the 9th hour, he was crucified. He only got 3 more hours left to live. Everybody should see that.
Yeah.
He only got 3 more hours left to live at this point.
That's quick cut out.
All right, go ahead.
And he said unto the Jews, behold, your king. But they cried out, away with him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priest answered, we have no king but Caesar.
Y'all heard these non-messianic sellouts, boy?
They
the white man is our king.
They deserve the death.
The white man is our king. That's how you know this man was, our master was revolutionary, boy. When your leaders would rather say, the hell with you,
the heathen
and all the power, the heathen is our king. Master Charlie is good, white folk. If we don't do nothing, the Romans are going to come take away our place and our nation. Yeah. We ain't got no king but Caesar. Wow. And you did the hatred for the brethren. And you got people thinking hating your brother is cool today. The hatred of the brethren is what got the Messiah assassinated. Hatred of the brothers is what got Stephen stoned. Hatred of the brethren is what got all 12 disciples murdered.
That's deep, man.
Hatred of the brethren, man. You got these Negroes out here talking about they teaching the Bible and they teaching hatred and division. And the scriptures say, mark them, not the brothers that's endeavoring to get together and follow the teachings of Messiah. You dig? The ones that spewing hatred and division, those are the ones you're supposed to avoid. Those are the ones you mark. Because hatred left unchecked will make you murder your own people, man. And look, we ain't got no king but Caesar, huh? We ain't got no king but the white man.
That's right, evil.
That's evil.
You ain't some coward, bro. You was a coward.
Yeah. They don't read the story like this up in church, do they? Or explain it like this.
Yeah.
Come on, now, let's do it.
And delivered he him therefore unto them to be crucified. And they took Yahushua and led him away. And he, bearing his cross, went forth unto a place called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. When they crucified him and two others with him on either side, one and Yahushua in the midst. And Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross. And the writing was Yahushua of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. This title then read many of the Jews, for the place where Yahushua was crucified was nigh to the city, and it was written Hebrew and it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin. Then said the chief priest of the Jews to Pilate, write not the King of the Jews, but that he said, I am King of the Jews. Pilate answered, what I have written, I have written. Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Yahushua, took his garments and made 4 parts, to every soldier a part, and also his coat. Now the coat was without seam, woven from the top throughout.
They parted his garments, his prophecy. Psalm 22, 16 through 18. David wasn't talking about himself. Everything that happened was prophecy. Come on, he read on down to verse 31, and then we're gonna get into this book.
Then said, therefore, among themselves, let us not rend it, but cast lots for it, who it shall be, that the scripture might be fulfilled, which said, they parted the raiment among them, and for my vesture they did cast lots.
Psalm 22, 18 and 19. You see, David in spirit saw the crucifixion 1,000 years before it even happened. Everything that happened with Mashiach was prophecy, man. All right, come on now.
These things, therefore, the soldiers did. Now there stood by the cross of Yahushua his mother, and his mother's sisters, Mary, and the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
And Yahushua therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by, whom he loved, and said unto his mother, woman, behold thy son. Then said he to the disciple, behold thy mother. And from that hour, the disciple took her into his own home.
Yeah. In other words, take care of my mama.
Take care of my mama.
What I'm saying? You got to take care of my mama. Mama, this your son right here.
Yeah.
You understand? Take care of my mother. All right, go ahead.
That's deep, Bob. That's some deep stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look out for my people. Look out for my mama.
Straight up.
And hey, he honored that. He said since then he took him to he took her to his own home.
Yeah.
That's deep. After this, Yahushua, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, I thirst. Now there was a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon hyssop and put it to his mouth. When Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished, and bowed his head and gave up the ghost.
And that's Psalm 69, 22. They gave me vinegar and gall to drink. More prophecy. Read 31, just real quick.
It says, the Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation.
The what?
The preparation.
Wow. It was preparation for unleavened bread.
Passover.
It was the 14th day.
Passover.
Yeah. Passover, man. Go ahead, Doc.
That the body should not remain upon the cross on the Shabbat day. For the Shabbat day,
that Sabbath day.
Yeah, for that Shabbat day was a high day.
Was a what?
A high day.
That's how you know it's not the weekly Sabbath. It's a high holy day. It's unleavened bread.
Yeah.
It's not the weekly Sabbath. It's Passover, the 14th of Abib. The slaughtering of the Passover lamb is preparation for the feast of unleavened bread. It's prep day, the 14th day. Now remember the 6th hour, right? The 6th hour. They was yelling out, crucify him, right? He nailed to the cross and all that. All right, finish reading 31.
It says, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away.
All right, jump over just real quick. Show y'all that was the 9th hour. Go to Matthew 27. Matthew records exactly what hour it was when he gave up the ghost. And then we're going to jump over and read his letters of Pontius Pilate. All right, Matthew 27. Matthew 27. Verse 48 through 51. The 9th hour. Matthew, yeah. Bang, bang, salute. Crowd, loud voice. Say, bang, bang. Bang. Now, we'll say the 9th hour in there, man. Matthew, I missed it.
For the 9th hour.
6th hour, not from the 6th hour. There was, matter of fact, jump back. Matthew 27. Matthew 27, start at verse 45.
All right, Matthew 27, verse 45. Now from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour.
There you go.
There it
You
is.
feel me? From the 6th hour, high noon, all the way between 11 and 12, all the way up between 2 and 3 p.m. It was complete darkness outside. Oh, complete darkness at high noon. So that's Matthew 27 and 45. From the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. Keep reading.
And about the 9th hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani.
Psalm 22 and 1. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? That's Hebrew. That's showing you he was speaking Hebrew. And when you read the Hebrew in Psalm 22 and 1, it says that Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, meaning my God, why hast thou forsaken me? That's Hebrew. That shows you they were speaking Hebrew.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
It says, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there when they heard that said, this man calleth for Elijah?
Yeah, because Elijah means Yah is my God. So that shows you he was speaking Hebrew. They're like, why is he calling on Elijah? You dig? Because how else you say my God in Hebrew? Eli.
Eli.
Or Eliyah. Or Eliyah. All right, go ahead, Hebrew.
And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let be, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost.
What hour was this? The 9th hour.
Yeah, the 9th hour.
Right? Between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's why that's one of our prayer hours. The heavens received the Messiah's spirit. Also in Acts 3rd chapter, the man was healed at the 9th hour. The heavens were open. All right, go ahead.
It said, Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and rocks rent.
All right, that's it for that. All right. I just wanted to show that. It was a preparation day. It was the 9th hour. Now, from that, before the sun goes down, they had to take him off the cross or the execution stake, right? Prepare his body and then lay his body in a tomb that no man had ever laid. You understand? And when you go back to John 19 and 42, right here, it says John 19 and 40, then took they the body of Yahushua and wound it in linen clothes with the spices of the manner of the Yahudim is to bury. Now, in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden, a new sepulchre wherein was never man yet laid. There laid they Yahushua, therefore, because of the Jews' preparation day for the sepulchre was nigh at hand. All right. All right, so next we about to get into this right here. This right here is the letters of Pontius Pilate, written during his governorship of Judea to his friend Seneca in Rome. All right. And we about to read about the arrest of the Messiah. All right, Sister Shalom. Most I be with you. Be safe. All right, we about to read about the arrest of the Messiah, and we about to read about his crucifixion. All right. Trial and crucifixion. Man, this is major. All right. Page 161 is where we start. Y'all get some understanding so far? You can put a 7 up in the chat. Look at Jose, grab popcorn. If y'all get some understanding, put a 7 up in the chat. All right. The assassination. All right, Shalom. The assassination, the political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah. All right. We're looking at this thing through a whole nother lens now. Through a whole nother lens, we looking at this thing. Our praise, our glory, our honor. And y'all look this book up. My Ak Judah Moshe looked the book up early. It's $16 on Amazon. The Letters of Pontius Pilate. $16. All right. Page 161 is where we're gonna start it. Our praises, our glory, our honor to the Most High. All right. So this right here is about the arrest of Messiah. Dig, and I'm gonna start right here. In fact, it's right around the Passover. All right, right here, page 163 is where you first start talking about the arrest. Page 163. Read all like bracketed in, bro. Right there, right there, right there. This is about his arrest. And then we're gonna get into his crucifixion and we're gonna get up out of here. All right, all praises, all glory, all honor. Look at Sis say, I'm excited to hear this. Yeah. Yeah, Tuvaya, may the Most High bless you. What you mean? Oh, no, she good. She good. She good. Yeah. Yeah, she all good. Hallelujah. Talia. All praise, glory, and honor to the Most High. All right, we're gonna start it right here. Yeah, right now. You starting right. You starting right where you got arrested. Right here. Bang. Jesus was arrested last night. Everything is bracketed in.
All right. It says Yahushua was arrested late last night. I provided a troop of soldiers who accompanied the officials of the Sanhedrin. The advantage is that as the news spread this morning, if it did spread, it would be known that the prosecutor of the Sanhedrin had acted jointly. The Sanhedrin are not popular with the most zealous Jews.
Like so the Sanhedrin, you know, the courts, the judges, you know what I'm saying, they're not as popular with like the zealous Israelites, the RBG brothers or the revolutionary brothers who actually were putting Romans to death. They thought through the sword they could deliver, you understand, Israel, but that's not the case. So the actual courts where they are adjudicating it and passing out judgments, that wasn't popular with the zealous or the revolutionary Israelites. All right, go ahead, Al.
But the general impression would be that if all the authorities, Roman and Jewish, were acting together, this must be a troublesome fellow. This must be a troublesome fellow who was better out of the way.
You see, he's saying, Pontius Pilate is saying, look, if the Romans and the Jews are acting together, the authorities of Rome and the Jewish nation or the Jews nation are acting together to prosecute and get rid of the Messiah, he must have been a powerful man. He must have been beyond powerful. Had to be. Feel me? Because you got the Roman authorities and the Hebrew authorities working to get him out the way. Yeah, go ahead.
The arrest was made without disturbance.
The arrest was what?
Made without disturbance.
We read that in John 18. Outside of him speaking, I am he, and they falling back. He didn't resist arrest. He didn't resist. I'm he. If you're looking for me, let them go. All right, go ahead.
Yahushua himself gave no trouble, and his followers ran at once.
Didn't they? He said, all y'all should be offended at me tonight. Strike the shepherd, and the sheep shall scatter. Go ahead.
I believe some of them are well on their way home.
Like I believe some of them, they got up out of there so quick, they on their way home. All right, go ahead.
The prisoner was taken to the high priest's quarters until the morning when he was handed over to my people.
Dude, we just read all this in John 18 and John 19. When he taken to Annas, which was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, which was the high priest, then taken to Caiaphas, who was the high priest, then handed over to Pontius Pilate. Pilate is saying that in his book. He's writing to his friend Seneca in Rome of what just happened with this Jesus or this Messiah. All right, go ahead.
I believe Caiaphas got a few of the leading priests together and they examined him for themselves. The case is a perfectly simple one from my point of view and will I give no difficulty. It says, since Antipas will not handle the matter, I am coming to that in a moment. I shall execute Yahushua as a maker or a cause of sedition as a maker or cause of sedition
Come on.
against Caesar.
Against who?
Against Caesar.
Y'all, this was political. This was political. If he's being arrested and executed as someone that's into sedition, remember, sedition is someone who can speak and inspire revolution, who can inspire revolt. This is Pontius Pilate on words right here. He's going to be executed as someone that's causing sedition against Caesar. Didn't them sellout Negroes say we have no king but Caesar?
Yeah.
It's right in the Bible. This right here is not the Bible. These are the letters of Pontius Pilate written during his governorship to his friend Seneca in Rome, and it's matching right up. And this is showing you how Pontius Pilate viewed Messiah as a dangerous man. He's dangerous, right? Sedition against Caesar. Come on now.
But these priests have always to remember that sedition against Caesar is usually a merit in the eyes of the populace, and of a good many Pharisees too. And they will want to make out a good case for themselves. They will insist, I suppose, on Yahweh's defense of the law, attacks on a ritual and outbreak in the temple.
Oh, then we read about his outbreak in the temple. You understand? Then we read about that when he flipped the tables over, got at the money changers. That means even Pilate heard about that. You feel me? It wasn't just the Israelites that were in the temple that heard about that. Pilate heard about that. All right, go ahead.
Probably they will say that he regarded himself as the expected Messiah, of which there is no evidence. And the people with their mouths agape have no use for a Messiah who cannot keep himself out of the hands of the despised Romans.
You say, so in other words, they feel that the Messiah would deliver them from the Romans, not get arrested and get crucified, right? In which he will. He will deliver us out of the hands of our enemies. That's the end game, though. You see what I'm saying? You first had to be taught how to conquer your carnal, fleshly nature. All right, go ahead.
It says, that is not the kind of deliverer the Jews want anymore than his own followers. I have not seen the man myself, though I shall do so presently. I gave orders from him to be taken to Antipas, as I said I would, with the polite statement that is the disturber of the peace of the Galileans.
Disturber of the peace of Galilee. Right? They saying he disturbs the peace. This gospel he teaching, it goes against the status quo. You feel me? It goes against the established order. So when you come through and you're doing things like that, or getting at the money, or taking the influence away from so-called pompous men or whatever, you become a threat, man.
Yeah, let me read it again too. It says, as I said I would, with the polite statement that is the disturber of a peace was a Galilean.
Yeah, was a who?
Was a Galilean.
Yeah. Yahweh was from Nazareth of Galilee. All right, go ahead.
It says he would perhaps consider the matter came within his own jurisdiction. I received a reply equally polite that Antipas recognized my courtesy, but waived any right that I might have over an offender in my city of Jerusalem. It says a touching exchange of what they say?
Just read right down there. Where that's cut off at. You ain't got to read that free man.
Oh, okay. It says, and I shall finish the matter off today.
All right, now flip over. He's letting it be known I'm executing them today, right? Now, right here. Read everything is bracketed in. Bing, on over. All right, now we on the trial. You're reading all the way down. Okay. You're going to see it, right? So trial and execution of Yahweh Shah, page 166.
All right, it says, afterwards, I tied in command the prisoner Yahweh Shah. He was crucified at once along with some other prisoners who were awaiting execution. It was not a bad thing to have an object lesson of this kind on the eve of Passover.
On the what?
On the eve of Passover.
That's proof that he was crucified, you understand, on the 14th day. That's the proof right there. You feel me? On top of what we read right here in the scriptures, the preparation day is Passover for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's what that's about. All All right, Pontius Pilate is even saying this. All right, go ahead.
It said, it is not a bad thing to have an object lesson of this kind on the eve of Passover, because in such a nondescript gathering as we have here, there must always be dangerous characters who have special opportunities for their special qualities. By this time, Yahushua is buried. It is their custom to bury an executed offender the same day, and besides, the Sabbath begins at sunset.
That's it. You see,
Uh-huh.
the Sabbath begins when?
At sunset.
So for y'all be talking about the Sabbath don't start in the evening, but during the daylight hours. Even Pontius Pilate knew that.
A Roman.
Our customs and our law, the Sabbath always started at sundown. You understand? That's the truth. All right, go ahead.
Has indeed already begun. The Sanhedrin asks permission to bury the body this afternoon. It suits them, having gotten Yahweh out of their way, to dispose. Having gotten Yahushua out of their way, to dispose of the whole matter before the Passover begins, and so to damp down the decision which might arise, especially after the inscription that I ordered to be attached to the prisoner.
What was the inscription? Yahushua, King of the Jews. And it was written in Hebrew, Greek, and in Latin. Yeah. We read that. Did we read that? Pontius Pilate, what he's writing is lining right up with scripture. You're just seeing from his perspective and hearing from his mind the character and how he perceived the Messiah. Called him, I'm gonna execute him as committing sedition against Caesar. And someone that's in the sedition is someone that can speak and ignite the minds of the people to unite.
Yeah,
they did conquer themselves and then conquer their enemies, conquer their that lower self, that sin nature, that carnal flesh, and then conquer who? Your enemy. And they were afraid of that. All right, go ahead.
It says, Passover decision scripture. It says, about which more presently the trial was short, but in due form and order.
It was a quick trial. It wasn't all day. It wasn't drawn out. Right, quick and in due order. Shout out Shalom, Isaiah, Yasha Allah, my brother Karata Zaya, Yahoo.
Shalom, okay.
Come on, now let's get it.
It says Yahushua was accused of disturbing the peace.
He was accused of what?
Disturbing the peace.
Yahushua was accused of disturbing the peace. Y'all see that? Sedition, rebel, revolutionary, sedition against Caesar, a disturber of the peace. They even called him a malefactor, didn't they? A criminal. Yeah, come on.
Stirring up disaffection and claiming to be the king of the Jews. There was evidence both from our side and from that of the Jews, both from Galilee and from this city. Caiaphas, Annas, and the leading Sadducees were prominent, and so were some, but not all of the chief Pharisees. Some of the Pharisees would lend no assistance in convicting a rebel against Caesar. However much they desired his death as a rebel against themselves.
You hear that? They desired his death as a rebel rouser.
Rebel
rouser against themselves.
Ain't that deep? Rebel rouser.
Rebel rouser. Well, the Messiah was a rebel rouser.
That's deep. The
Messiah was a revolutionary.
That's deep.
The Messiah was a troublemaker, according to those that had him locked up and arrested.
I let you know we dealing with straight Pharisees.
Yeah, rebel rousers.
We dealing with straight Pharisees. What?
Well, he was arrested for being a rebel, going against the established order that was out of order anyway. All right, go ahead. All
right, it says, however, that did not help him. The priests had much to say of his attacks on their religion, but I cut them short of that. They cannot have it both ways.
He's like, look, if it's about y'all own religious affairs, y'all deal with that. You understand? Go ahead.
It says, if we are not allowed to interfere in their religion, they cannot appeal to us when their observations are attacked. As soon as the offense becomes how you say that? Political.
As soon as the offense becomes political. He's like, look, if it's a religious thing, y'all do y'all thing. But as soon as it becomes political, The name of the class is the political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah.
Ooh, it's a dagger right here, boy.
Come on, I'll read that
Look,
again.
hey, check this out. It says, let me read that on this last sentence. Wake up real quick.
Y'all good, bro.
It says they cannot have it both ways.
Mm.
If we are not allowed to interfere in their religion, they cannot appeal to us when their observation or attacked.
Observances.
I mean, when our observances or attacked.
Right.
As soon as the offense becomes political,
Mhm.
directly or indirectly,
Mhm.
then we take note of it.
Oh, wait.
Mhm.
So in other words, so the fact that Pilate was even involved shows it was political.
Yeah.
The Romans didn't even deal with it if it was religious. But as soon as it becomes political, we take note of it.
Yeah.
Come on, now.
It says they may squabble about Yahweh like the Egyptian about Isis till they burst. But when a man brawls in the temple, intends to provoke the general explosion, the general explosion, and that concern us closely, the charge against Yahushua of disturbing the peace was proved to the hilt, and he could not deny it.
So when he flipped them tables and got at that money changer, this whole thing became political. That put an X on his back. When he went in the temple and he what they call attacked the temple, and he walked about that deal and didn't get arrested. You dig? This whole thing became beyond political. The Romans had to get involved in. It was already political. It's just the higher authority or the Romans had to get involved because he attacked the temple. He got at the money changers, flipped over tables, ran the auction up out of there. That's when, guess what? An X was put on his back. The Romans had to get involved in. He's like, y'all can talk about Yahweh all day till you're blue in the face. But when that temple got attacked by him, it became political. Come on, let's get it.
I'm reading all this down or jumping.
Yeah. Go ahead,
okay.
keep going.
It says, I required of the prisoner, though Alexander, whether he admitted to more serious accusations, the Jews alleged that he regarded himself as a destined deliverer of the nation, which involves the end of both of their authorities and roles and ours. This would constitute a much more direct offense than that for which Antipas put John to death. They cited both the public utterances in which Yahushua had spoken of a new kingdom as being imminent.
That stirred them. He talking about a new kingdom, a new temple, everything being imminent. These are Pontius Pilate words, y'all. Yeah, this is what they fear. As long as you under that Christian vibration, you not no threat. You just playing church. But as soon as you identify with the character of the revolutionary Messiah spoken of in this New Testament, you dig? And you take off the Christianity lens and read this from a Hebraic lens and understand the politics that were involved in it. Oh man, you get the understanding opens right up. Understand that it opens right up like, oh, wait. All right, go ahead. Shout out to my Ak Shebaniah Yehuda, fresh from Ashkelon, Israel. Shalom. Come on, let's get it.
And also certain admissions about himself, which they said he had made to his own followers. This was, I suppose, the special evidence which Annas said that they intended to produce. I put the question to him. I asked him whether he considered himself to be the deliverer. So they say. He answered indicating the high priest and his neighbors with a crude gesture of contempt. I pointed out to him that he was accused also of representing himself as a king of the Jews. I asked him whether he considered himself to be that. He made the same answer. So you say.
Oh, what we read in John 18? You asking me because you want to know, or you asking me because that's what you heard about me? Yeah. Thou sayest, and for this reason was I born. Come on, Doc, let's get it.
Meaning, I suppose that in neither case was there any in his own conduct or motives to support the accusation, but that he knew well enough that we meant in any case to fix the charge upon him. He realized that he was trapped and that there was no way of escape. But he was bold.
Oh,
But
he was what?
But he was bold.
Messiah wasn't all weak and jumping at his court or at his judgment. He wasn't all like, he was bold in the face of Pilate. He wasn't shivering in the face of Pilate, knees knocking like a naked newborn. He wasn't doing none of that. He was bold. Come on now.
It says, but he was bold and resolute and definite
and defiant,
almost insolent.
Oh, that he was bold and defiant. Oh, this is a whole nother picture we get of the Messiah, ain't it? What?
Yeah.
A whole nother picture. You talking about a bold man accused of sedition.
But when you slow it down and actually read it, you get that out of the scripture.
Yeah.
You gotta slow down.
Yeah. Come on now.
It says, they are all alike. These Jews bitter, and they are yielding whether to us or to each other. Standing alone he might be, forsaken with the enemies on every side, who meant his death, with his own countrymen delivering him to the Roman executor.
Facts.
It says, but he was cool and determined, like the man who engineered and attempted on his life of a great Herod and suffered the extremes of torture, sooner than yield an inch. A dangerous breed. It says, I condemned him to death.
He say a dangerous breed.
Yeah, called him that's a dangerous breed.
A dangerous breed.
You can't control it.
Come on, Art.
It says, I condemn him to death. I could, of course, do nothing else. All roads lead to that conclusion.
Everything led to him condemning Yahweh Shah, man. All roads led to it. He couldn't get out of it. All right, go ahead, Art.
Alexander, who has a cool and detached way of regarding his countrymen, insists that this man, so far from posing as Messiah or king, like most of the mischief makers during the last 30 years, did all that he could to prevent the stupid people from fastening that part on him. Alexander thinks that there was nothing that Yahushua sought to avoid, so as this, knowing that if such in conception of him spread abroad, it would deliver him into the hands and be fatal
to our hands.
It would deliver him into our hands and be fatal to his campaign. A hopeless campaign, if any case.
You see what Pilate saying? Yeah. He's saying his movement was hopeless. Go ahead, Doc.
Against the priesthood and its system. Alexander has talked to some of his followers and says that the preacher had unquestionably warned them often and in the severest terms that they were not to regard him or speak of him as deliverer whom all the Jews expect, and that it was only when he thought that the old conception of him had died away in Galilee that he decided to come up to Jerusalem. It may be, but I am sure that if he was not a dangerous rebel yesterday,
go ahead,
he would have been tomorrow.
See, Pilate was like, look, if he wasn't dangerous yesterday, tomorrow he will be. You feel me? In other words, they understood that this man had the power to unite the nation. This man had the power to get our people to love one another and thus conquer their lower fleshly self and then eventually their enemies. He like somebody speaking like that is too. He like in the movie Malcolm X, that white man said that's too much power for one black man to have.
Yeah,
it did. So Pilate's just basically saying the same thing. If he was not a danger yesterday, tomorrow he will be.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
It says for either he would have succeeded in his assault on the priesthood, or he would not. If he had not, how long would a man of his temperament, so passionate, headstrong, and bold, have abstained from making the appeal to the patriotic feelings of these Jews?
He called the Messiah headstrong. What else he called him?
He called him headstrong, bold, passionate.
Headstrong, bold, and passionate. Then it said he will appeal to the patriotic, meaning he was nationalistic. What is a patriot? Somebody that fights for his nation.
Yeah.
You see? Go ahead. So Pilate's saying he had to be killed before he got headstrong. I mean, before this whole sense of patriotism gained steam. You know what I'm saying? He had to be put down before that. Go ahead.
Feelings of these Jews, which always meet with a quick response, even when made by men of much less powerful character than his. It says, you remember Procilius and Alexandrus, the description of the saints in Galilee, and supposing that he had conveyably made headway against the priests and all the murmuring of the temple rituals, how long would it have been before he turned upon Caesar and the sacrifices to Caesar and to Rome?
He said, you see how he attacked the temple? It just was a matter of time before he attacked Caesar and attacked Rome. It was just a matter of time. That's why he said if he was not a threat yesterday, tomorrow he will be. Somebody that powerful, eventually Caesar will get attacked. Rome will get attacked. The sacrifices to Caesar will be attacked. Yeah, revolutionary, man. That's what they fear, the rise of the Black Messiah, man. They fear that. J. Edgar Hoover told you there will never be another Black Messiah unless we give him to the people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is what they fear. All right, go ahead.
It says, would he have respected the coat of Divus Augustus?
No.
Do you suppose?
No.
But long before we had to consider that eventuality, we should have had to interfere with force between their contending
Intervene.
fictions.
They say intervene or interfere.
It says intervene.
Yeah, we would have to intervene before he started attacking Rome and Caesar. You know what I'm saying? And disrespecting all the Roman gods or whatever. We had to intervene. You got to intervene before that. All right, go ahead.
It says, why, as it is, they are almost in a state of suppressed civil war.
Oh, you see? There was civil war amongst them. Remember, the Messiah said, if this was my kingdom, my servants would fight. I should not be delivered to the Jews. What Jews? The Sanhedrin. Messiah saying, look, if this was my kingdom, I wouldn't even got arrested. Go ahead.
It says, ready to fly at each other's throat. Give them a bad governor, a governor even half as bad as they say that I am. And the feud between those who tolerate us and those who despise the tolerators will break into open war. This is an unfruitful soil. This is an unfruitful soil in all respects but one. The seeds of the disorder will grow if you only scratch the soil. My policy is to destroy them the moment they sprout.
See, so Pilate whole thing was, hey man, cut this off before it gains steam.
Yeah.
Cut it off before it gains steam. You almost done, bro. Go ahead.
It says, but I had forgotten. Allow me one word about this inscription announcing the offense of Yahushua. It was King of the Jews, set up over the cross. The Pharisees were, how you say that word?
Indignant.
The Pharisees were indignant.
Very angry because he was crucified King of the Jews. Indignant. Go ahead.
They themselves want a King of the Jews. It would give them the greatest pleasure to see Caesar overthrown tomorrow and a Jewish king installed.
Yeah, the Pharisees, come on now, be real. You'd rather see Rome overthrown when the end game is for us not to be ruled by our oppressors, right? So regardless of what political or spiritual party you was part of, you think the end game is so we wouldn't be ruled by our oppressors. That's what Pilate is saying. Like on the real, like they rather have a king than for Caesar to rule, right? Any Israelite would. Go ahead.
It says, not half Jew like Herod, who would rule the country through them and suppress their Sadducene rivals.
Yeah,
but
and Herod was not, there wasn't no such thing as a half Jew. Herod was an Edomite.
Yeah.
You understand? That was a convert. Our people forced the remaining Edomites that was around to convert. They did force them into conversion. Herod come from one of those families. I go ahead.
But it angered them to see the precious title King of the Jews held up to ridicule. It was to plain a reminder of their servitude. Besides, they thought it an insult that a crucified criminal, a presumptuous countryman who had defied them, should be labeled king.
That was, they called him a criminal. He called criminal. He called headstrong. He called bold,
passionate.
He was charged with sedition against Caesar. A malefactor, which is another word for criminal. All these words are said about your Messiah. This is how he was viewed by Pontius Pilate. And said if he was not dangerous or rebel or revolutionary yesterday, tomorrow he will be. Tomorrow he'll be. We gotta kill him now. All right, go ahead.
It says, I took a short way with them. What I have written, said I, and bade them be gone. I knew their breed. I knew the breed from the moment that this Yahushua set up his individual judgment against theirs. They meant to have his life. Scratched a priest and fined an autocrat. All the world over. If a man say that he will use his own intelligence about things divine, the priest prick up their ears and fill their knives. That's deep. If he goes further and tell his fellow man that they also are entitled to use their own intelligence, off with his head and their end of it. I ran on also, my dear Cynthia. The subject carries me away. I must apologize to you again. I am afraid that even you will find this subject tedious. For after all, what does it matter? One Jew more or less. I wish I could find a substitute for Adachius.
You hear what Pilate saying? What does it matter? One Jew more or less. Like the Romans were our enemies, man. They didn't care. You dig? But notice the picture that was painted. The Messiah was a threat and he was dangerous, not only to the established order that the Romans had placed through the Sanhedrin, but to Roman Caesar itself.
Yeah.
And then that's why the Annals of Imperial Rome, I got over there at the end of the table, is another book I got where it bring up Pontius Pilate. You dig? And it goes into how the Messiah was crucified under Pontius Pilate, and after he died, they could not find his body. You dig? So, you know, what you done with that?
Yeah, that's the end.
All right, so I pray that y'all got some understanding, like my ox say, some understanding and overstanding.
Yeah. And my bad, family, for the reading. Looks literally not sleeping have caught up with your brother. I'm finna go to sleep, man.
Bro, so you finna go to sleep, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? And it lets you know that the Messiah was revolutionary, man. His whole thing was about gathering the people. If you're not gathering, you're scattering. If you're not for me, you against me. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it was about. It was about healing the nation, getting the brothers and sisters together.
Yeah.
It did. And what we saw today was that his assassination was political.
It really was.
It was political. You dig? And him and his followers shook the world to its very foundation. Those that have turned the world upside down have come.
Yeah.
You dig? Though these men being Jews do teach things that are not unlawful, that are unlawful for us to observe or to receive, being Romans. They exceedingly trouble our city. The gospel is revolutionary, you mean?
Yeah, and they've been trying. They look, and if you peep the Sanhedrin and the high priest, been trying to hit the Messiah, but Pontius Pilate didn't call for his head until he messed up the temple, because the temple was the thriving heartbeat, and that's where all the money exchange was going down with Caesar's money. So when he started messing with that temple, he messed with everybody's income.
Yeah.
And that's when the Romans called for his death.
Yeah.
But the high priest Ben was looking for his head on the spiritual level. They like, hold on, he coming in saying you know what I'm saying? He's saying he the son of God, he this, he that. So it was already taken away from their following. But when he messed with that temple, that's when the political assassination went forth, because he messed with everything.
That's right. That's right. So I pray y'all got some understanding. It'll be re-uploaded shortly on YouTube. Y'all go back through it, take notes. Again, political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah, right? And that's what this was about. And notice he was crucified or killed on the 14th of Abib, which is Passover, preparation for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Even Pilate said it on the eve of Passover, right? So as we're going into Passover, how about we take in consideration our master was murdered 2,000 years ago? If we was living 2,000 years ago, we'd be days out from his murder, right? And if that's the case, and all hell poured out on us as followers, and if that's the case, what the hell you arguing about at home for? Or arguing amongst your brothers, or arguing amongst your sisters? Man, this is a serious time. Take it serious, because if you eat it unworthily, you won't be discerning the Lord's death, the master's death. He was put to death on Passover. How about we remember that and keep ourselves humble and hold ourselves down, man? Because if you eat unworthy, you be eating damnation into yourself. All right. So we're gonna pray on out, y'all. You feel me? Aki say you gotta go get him some sleep.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna, bro. We've been going. So I don't see how you got energy, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff,
it's out, man.
bro.
It's all good. Got to keep it going. Matter of fact, I need my charger real quick. Y'all hold on. Let me get my charger.
I got it on phone.
Oh, you got
I got it right here for you.
All praises, all glory, all honor to the Most High. Yeah, man, I'm just out. You know,
Yeah.
I'm ready to get to Israel and
get all that,
for some feast days and all that, bro.
Then the prayer hours don't let you get sleep anyway.
Nah, prayer hours, boy, you ain't finna sleep.
We be going every day.
Yeah.
I ain't complaining, but it's like, bro, I feel my body shut down, bro.
It's time to get some sleep for you, bro. It's all good. All right, y'all repeat after me. Abino. Shabbat Shemayim. Yikade. Shimka. Tabo. Malkuteka. Yeyase. Ratzonka. Kabashemayim. Cain. Baaret. Etlakim. Kukenu. Tanglanu. Hayon. Uslaklanu. All. Kataenu. Kamo. Shelsukin. Gam. Anaknu. Lakotin. Lanu. Wa'o. Tabienu. Lide. Nisayon. Ki. In. Kotzenu. Minhara. Kilaka. Hamamlaka. Wahagbura. Wahati Faret. Laome. Olami. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Long live the King of Kings, man. All right, y'all. To the next time, let me check this comment board real quick. To the next time, y'all willing, we right back up tomorrow evening, and then Friday evening, y'all willing, we kick off the Passover here in the STL. So we'll be live doing that too. And then on Sabbath, Sabbath classes at noon Central Standard Time, from noon to like 3 or 4, and then we're gonna go hang out at one of the brothers' cribs and kick off the Feast of Unleavened Bread as well. Some of our out of town guests on the first day of the week or Sunday, we're gonna be doing baptisms early in the morning out here at Merrimack River for any of our out of town guests that's trying to get immersed or get baptized, so that before they get back on the road. Hebrew class that day at 12. I'll probably sleep after Hebrew class. I ain't gonna be able to sleep until then. We gotta get through. I'm so out, man. We gotta get through this. You dig? I'm just out. So all praises, all glory, all honor. I pray you all were edified, and I pray the Most High is glorified. And again, political assassination of the revolutionary Messiah. Our Messiah was a revolutionary, man, and he was viewed as a threat by the powers that be, the established order. You feel me? And ain't nothing wrong with that. If you stand on this word, you're gonna be that. Only the PC Hebrews are not threats. The PC means politically correct. Those that try to compromise the word, tap dance around the word to make everybody feel, to make all viewpoints and everybody's feelings matter. They don't matter. It only matter what thus saith the word, man. You feel me? The Messiah was like that. His disciples were like that. All the prophets was like that. Hell, we even read about Paul today, Shaul. You understand? And how he had to shoot straight. He couldn't be politically correct. And he was a threat. You feel me? So it ain't just Mashiach, all those that follow him in that same spirit. And all these men had the Holy Spirit. All these men had the Ruach HaKodesh, and they were revolutionaries. They were not these niggas today playing church, man. These men are playing church. You dig? So that's how we know they don't have the set apart spirit. So until the next time, y'all, we love y'all for all y'all prayers and y'all support. Y'all support is how we keep this thing going around here, man. So all praises, all glory, all honor to the Most High, the only creator and possessor of all things. Long live his anointed son, the revolutionary Messiah, in the hearts and minds of the faithful elect. Hey, strap up and back up, y'all. Yes, sir.